Conscripted by a secret organization, a group of strangers is loaded into experimental metapods, hurtling their souls across dimensions and into unsuspecting avatars. With each trip across reality, these newly minted metapilots gain access to unique powers and abilities, slowly transforming them into true masters of the Metaverse.
Hey everybody, it is Meta Monday. Welcome to another episode of Masters of the Metaverse in our Planet Metaverse Invasion storyline here. We're here on the Zombie Orpheus Entertainment channel here on Twitch. I'm your host and GM, James Durham, and joining me at the table today, I have Sarah Sanders, Helen Roundhill, and Mark Thomason. Woohoo! And we've got Leo back on tech.
Yay, Leo! Hi.
Tonight we continue our Planet Metaverse Invasion arc. What is Masters of the Metaverse? Well, you know, it's only the most interactive live stream RPG in the world.
Universe.
In the world. Possibly in the universe.
Metaverse,
I don't want to make that I don't want to presume, but definitely in the metaverse.
known universe.
Known to us.
Yeah.
Semantics. Let's not get derailed here. We do that often enough during the show.
Derailed us? What?
Oh,
No.
never.
And how is it the most interactive? Well, we've got the lovely store going on right now. Right now, you can put money in to change this whole thing. You can change everything about it. You can hack attack, meta points, moments of clarity, buffs for our cast.
Yes, please.
You can give everything, meltdowns and system shocks, so I can play with them too.
Yes, please.
It's all
No,
wonderful.
No,
and
wait,
we
no,
love to
not
see
those.
it.
Wait, no, what?
Not
Oh
those.
yes,
No.
lots of meltdowns and shocks.
I mean, only if it leads us up to boosted, because then I want to go.
We've been having
How was that? It was just.
That's how
I like
I
that sound.
Try it. It's fun. You go.
In addition to all
Yeah.
those lovely items in the store, we have our weekly
It's true,
Patreon
yeah.
polls where
They've been
our
helpful.
Patreon members can influence and change the game too. Would you guys like to hear the results?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, please.
All
Yeah.
right. Sarah, you get plus 30 health and plus 7 to a roll.
Thank
this
you,
week.
Patreon.
Mark, you get plus 20 health and plus 4 to a roll this week. Helen, you get plus 20 health and plus 5 to a roll this week. And I get plus 10 health and plus 3 to a roll this week. That's back to normal. I've been getting some better numbers the
You
past
have.
few weeks.
I tried to hide your name kind of like, not all the way at the bottom, but like a little bit.
Similar.
It
Yeah.
worked.
I tried to like,
The C option.
yeah, I was just like, hide it under there.
Oh, and speaking of Patreon, I've got some special backers I'd like to thank.
Okay.
Derek Takade, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Derek.
Michael Jacob, thank you.
Thank you.
Michael.
And Jeff Denui, thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Denui.
Yeah, we both are like, Thank you.
Who would like to tell them about what happened last week on our show?
We all know my recap was epic. So
It was. It was.
So you're volunteering?
No, I think somebody
Okay.
should have a more cogent recap than what I was able to provide.
I'm gonna voluntold Mark for it.
I was afraid of that. Okay, let me think. Let's see. So we jumped into our characters to deal with the invading. What's the universe number?
742.
742 metaverse that is invading our world, and the group that we jumped into were 3 of them were from kind of the royal family in this kingdom, which has been essentially wiped out. And then my character Bruno jumps into a Monk and the world that we are in is basically the Middle Ages feudalism system with bows and arrows and swords and that kind of stuff, but the gender roles are all reversed, and so part of Bruno's monks of knowledge concept is that the Brotherhood of the Monks is a Menonist, is attempting to bring in. That was Flarlax's joke there.
Pax,
Somebody made that last
How
week.
much
Where
does
is
that
it?
hurt?
Pax said she writes a recap for us
It's
to
being
help.
hidden by the hype
yeah,
train.
we got this hype train thing that's
thing.
happening.
No,
so
no,
it's
no,
hard
but
to
the
do.
actual
It's right
recap,
there.
where is
Right
it?
there.
No,
There it is. See?
Oh, but-
Hype train.
What do you mean?
But again, the hype train block that is appearing on the screen
Oh.
is just making it super.
Anyway,
oh, get it.
so in the process of doing this, we figured out as we encountered some of them, we decided to go and seek the Sky Stone. The Queen's sister on her deathbed told the Queen to remember their children's bedtime stories about the Sky Stone and how the Sky Stone changed the world and everything. And so we went to figure out where that was. So we went back to
The library.
the library of the Order of the Sacred Oath, where Brother Tiber hails from, and got past what are the ogres called? The
Augury.
Augury. Got past the 1,000
I just got it.
Augury forces.
Oh no, not at all. You'll actually find out what that name comes from today.
I was thinking AUGRY, and so like AUGRY being the origin of the name, I think might play into it. But that's how I read it when we
Like
first
an
said
augury,
Yeah.
like foretelling.
Like foretelling, yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, so we
Interesting.
got past this force of 1,000, an army of 1,000 of the Augury that were blocking our path into the temple, which housed the library of thousands of years.
And
Got into
thousands
the
of
library,
planets, I
found
guess.
information about where to seek the Skystone, but also discovered that there's things like 1960s calculus books from our world that Bruno
Forgot
could
the Playboys.
read through.
Yeah,
Playboys,
I was
right?
gonna go with Playboys
Yeah,
first,
there you
but
as well as a bunch of other stuff that they collected and had hidden away for thousands of years. And as we were getting out, the 742 forces started bombing and blew a hole in the entrance, and so the Augury started charging in. So we set the entrance to the library itself to below to try and seal it in so that they wouldn't be able to destroy the library.
Library of Alexandria preservation.
Right, attempted to
Attempt.
anyway.
Yeah.
And then we made out the back exit to the north where we're heading. And in the process, encountered a massive giant moth bat things that attacked us.
Oh, we
Oh,
squished
yeah.
them. Well,
And-
Well,
you squished them.
you squished them.
Yeah. Bruno used
There was-
accessed his Lothar powers and caused an earthquake, dropping the
Right.
ceiling on all the bat moth creepy things with poisonous
Many
bats.
an
and
attempt.
Yeah.
And it was quite cool and rather ruled.
It was.
That is a pretty good recap and puts us a good
It's an
starting
excellent
point.
recap.
Yeah, I would have forgotten at least 75%.
Would have been a little bit more like, okay, so battles, and then we were running, and then
There
we
was,
found
see,
then there was a bit with the
With the people,
you had a sister,
and there was a
and
stairs
then, but you don't have
situation
anymore.
and a
See,
library.
I'm good for like a week, so like this worked for me. Try and get me to tell you what happened like in the season finale or something like that from last season, and I'm like,
How could you
we
forget?
blew stuff up. There was like dead people, and I don't know.
Yeah.
So
These are true
just-
things
that's
that
that short-term
Sure.
memory aspect of it.
Those aren't wrong statements. You did blow stuff up and there were dead people.
No, you're good for about a week. I'm good for about. Hi, I'm Helen.
Hi, Helen. Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'll be playing your
Gosh.
grandfather.
So
Wow.
after defeating the Centamoths and opening a passage above with the cave-in powers that Bruno accessed from Lothar, you were able to ascend up through this passage and kind of get out of this cave. During the process, though, it was discovered that Lord Gon, the avatar of Bronjavans, had been bitten by one of these Centamoths. And they have a highly toxic venom, and he kept this to himself, being an expert on poisons and knowing that there was no way to treat or stop this poison.
Did we have like a zombie scene where they reveal that they've been bitten,
Yeah.
hours ago, and they're not doing so great, but like.
Yeah, when the fever and color change came on and the body spasm started, it was impossible for him to hide it anymore.
Oh.
However, being that Brony was in the driver's seat, as it were, in the Avatar pilot spectrum, he was able to keep him much calmer than his normal disposition would be
Wow.
at the
Men
time.
are so hysterical.
Particularly that
Particularly
one.
Gorgian.
Yeah.
And
Oh, gosh.
truth be told, as the ambitious, manipulative, plotting individual he probably was for the best for the future of your kingdom.
Oh.
Sadly.
It was appreciative when he took care of the children, however.
Well, there are men around all over the place. You can find another
I'll
one.
find a nanny.
Gosh, casual sexism and the reverse of the usual is just so much fun.
Really gets Helen going.
And he has just passed on, not before
We don't
Brony was
need
able
talk
to
about my
safely
personal life here at the
jack
table.
out, as it were, and
Brony's
exit
out.
the
Okay, good.
metaverse.
Good.
So,
Okay.
Brony is safe. He's just not going to be with you.
And is that that's the normal behavior if a pilot is inside an avatar when the avatar dies, it just kind of releases them to
There-
check out?
Can be complications, but in his case, he was prepared for it. So,
Mm.
slightly different.
Really.
Got it.
He can. I feel like he's a little more mercenary than some people might go down with the ship.
Brony, as a person, is sort of used to character death, as it were.
Uh,
Yeah. It's a little detached from it, has a little experience with it.
no.
But you have gotten out of this cave and are on the far side of the Bleak Ridge Mountains, a place where humanity does not go at all. It is, the Bleak Ridge has been the border of the kingdom since your grandmother's grandmother's grandmother. No one goes up here.
Is that why it's called Bleak Ridge?
Sort of like that.
Okay.
And this is
Also,
where the,
because what's beyond it.
It's the Mount Doom of this world.
On the
Bleak
other
Ridge.
side of it, you're on a sloping hillside now that gives you a great view of everything. Not that there's much to be a view of. It's a sea of gray dust and ash. There's gray sandstorms that block the views after a few miles out. Can't see much beyond that. And rising from the sand, like ancient bones, are the remains of what you as pilots recognize as the structures from the interior of what were once buildings, like the steel girders.
like the bones of the
the
buildings.
bones
Got
of the
it.
buildings rising
But
up.
Like modern buildings.
Like
But
modern,
ancient.
but ancient,
Anciently
but
modern.
So
Steel I-beams and
Yeah,
stuff.
steel I-beams and the structures of what once was
Are
probably
we-
a massive city.
Are we all in the right spots?
Everyone has not moved since last week.
okay.
Hashtag MetaPoint just testing to make sure this doesn't bring back that awful, terrible, horrible, no good, very bad hype train.
Yeah, I don't know what the hype train is, but
It's gone now, so we can see chat again.
Yeah, it's gone, it's fixed, it's in Twitch, it's nothing to do, it shouldn't have anything to do with the
Yep.
bot.
I tried to get rid of it, I could not. I apologize.
How did it go away?
I have no idea, but we're not going to talk about it. Hopefully it stays away.
Magic.
Hype train?
I think it's something you can click on to make it go away, but we don't
We don't-
regularly click on it because we just have it rolling.
The air here is extraordinarily hot and dry and smells
that's
of
fine.
ash.
Burn.
And
I'm
even
not
the
gonna make that
strong winds that blow every so often just bring more hot air and choking ash with it.
It's like any conversation with me. Okay, sorry, I'm done.
And where you're standing, you can make out on the ground what was once like a road, like a highway or a freeway even, but it's broken apart and crumbling and kind of winds its way down into that sea of ash below.
Weird question. Yellow lines, white lines.
They're gone.
Okay,
Impossible to tell.
okay.
Only your experience with having seen roads would
Red
let you know it.
lines?
The avatars you're in have no concept of what these things are, but your pilots do. There's no paint
Okay.
left.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out what continent we're on, that's all.
It hadn't even occurred to me that
Oh,
we would necessarily have the same kind of geographic layout, but it makes sense.
oh yeah.
It's possible.
I mean, if we have I-beams, it could be Earth.
I-beams? Oh, for the. Okay.
Earth
Yeah.
that was.
Earth that was, or a possible Earth in another, or another.
In addition to being choking and really uncomfortable, the ash upon prolonged contact with the skin starts to burn it.
Oh,
Caustic.
good.
Oh, great!
No, it's not rapid acting, but it is very uncomfortable.
Oh, that's good.
I love my cloak today.
Fabulous.
Mhm.
I don't have anything to use this.
Well, this place is just charming.
It's not where I would like to build the rest of my kingdom.
What kingdom?
Queendom.
Queendom.
Queendom. I like it.
Okay.
All right, pretend there's something over my face. I don't have anything.
It's quite all right.
Thank you, Aunt. We're looking for the sky stone, right? That's what we're looking for, and we're trying to find it through all of this.
And again, you can't see more than a couple of miles with the amount of ash in the air and dust blowing around.
Okay. My heightened awareness of smell. Do I smell anything?
That ash is just too overwhelming.
It's too much. Okay.
Yeah, it is too overwhelming. And in fact, it's really, really unpleasant for you because of your heightened senses. This makes it even more uncomfortable.
Sure.
Can I use covert spy stuff, maybe, and or notice, but to see if there's anything. I mean, none of this seems to have a natural cause.
We have seen fires before.
Not quite like this, I feel. Not ones that have corrosive ash.
Ash is a little acidic, I think, or basic, or it's one of the things that eats something.
Basic.
Basic, yeah.
Basic.
I think that's how you make lime and
Yep.
soap.
Here we go.
Not that a woman in my position ever would have made soap. I just
No,
like,
but
just like to be
you
well
as a
informed.
monarch, the
I like to be well informed of
understanding
the,
many
happenings,
different
yes.
disciplines.
Yes.
So you can't.
in my kingdom, I like to know what, different duties entail.
It's all right to have hobbies.
It makes soap for hobbies. You're such a card.
You know, and then you put it in little shell molds, and you're rolling, and this is always.
Always.
Yeah. Answer my question.
You don't really know what could have possibly caused this. It is beyond anything you've ever seen.
Is it beyond anything Andy might have studied?
More than likely.
I have street sense. Do I sense any streets? Does it look like a town?
Those remains of buildings, like there was at one point. There had to have been a city.
How
here.
big of a town city would this be? Like, how many stories do
Well, being as you can only see a couple of miles, they don't end. So
Okay, it's a very big city then. And how tall are the remains?
it's impossible to say if any of these are like the full structure. 'Cause
Of course
most of them end after maybe a couple hundred meters. I mean,
4 stories?
more like beyond 20 for some of them.
Oh, okay.
30.
Okay.
That's what I wanted. I wanted
200 meters would be
stories.
like 16,
Yeah.
18
Okay,
stories.
I don't see.
But they very
10 to 12
clearly
feet
have.
a story.
They very clearly are not like the tops left. They're
Very,
broken
very
apart.
clearly.
They could have been much
taller
taller.
than we have ever.
They could have been much taller.
I understand. Okay. I know it's not very quaintly to say, but I don't know what to do. We can't see. We have one less person in our group.
Pleasant way to talk of your husband.
It was a marriage of convenience. We both knew that. He was a fine human being.
And now it is a separation of inconvenience.
It is. Thankfully, the children are not with us, as that would be much more inconvenient. But
No. Fortunately, you're young enough. You can make more if anything happens to them.
yes, but I would like to make a safe place for them. I would like to provide for them something safe,
Mhm.
as I would the rest of my constituency, realm,
Wrong.
people.
All good words, right? All appropriate.
So I don't know what to do.
Is there anything in any of your teachings that could guide us closer?
Let's see if there's anything that I recall.
Well, you did
From
have
my
some
knowledge of
notes that you got
Northlands.
into from that library that indicated that it was further north.
Well, that's the direction we're
Bleak Ridge,
traveling.
so
Do I have anything
that's about all
else
much
to
you have
remember?
is north of the Bleak Ridge. But you don't even have a distance. It could be 1,000 miles. It could be 5.
Yeah.
And there are none of those, tourist buses still going, hop on, see all the sights.
No. In fact, beyond the blowing ash and sand, there's nothing moving down there.
My inclination is we
No
just
birds? No insects?
In fact, that becomes very apparent rapidly. Not a single insect. No. There seems to be like the tiniest sparse ones on like your backside at the edge of the mountains, like heading back south again, but
nothing.
nothing north, nothing out here.
Demolitions check. I beat it by 11. Can I tell like what direction, as the buildings were collapsing or falling, like was there an explosion that pushed things in one direction? Is there a directionality
What was
to
your
a blast
demolitions
force?
check there? Let's see how
I
much
rolled
information you got.
the. Oh no, sorry. I beat it by 9, not 11.
You're able to learn quite a few things though. Whatever caused this, it was probably more than one explosion and probably extremely large ones. Perhaps like nuclear warhead size explosions. Quite a few of them.
Coming like directly down.
But where
or
you are seems to be
tactical
about the
moves, or-
edge of where they hit. Like they didn't hit any further south than where you are. You're at the edge of the blast radius.
With your experience, and of course I'm speaking to Bruno, would you suggest going further toward the center of the blast radius, or is that going to put us in extreme?
I mean, without a Geiger counter or any way to measure if there's any radiation.
We need a boop boop.
we killed the boop boop.
We did kill the boop. Well, we didn't kill the boop boop. They killed the
They
boop
blew
boop.
up the boop boop.
Truly.
But without a Geiger counter, it's hard to tell if there's any radiation. I mean, it's been at least hundreds, if not thousands of years, clearly.
I dimly recall something is telling me that we're probably fine if it's been hundreds, especially if it's been thousands of years.
Okay, 9 demolitions, you know enough that even a nuclear weapon, it's not a significant window of time before it is passable by humans again.
Yes.
And
I don't suggest eating.
I was gonna say, don't drink the water.
And don't breathe the air.
Particularly if it has been obviously centuries.
Well, it's been long enough for a society to have reformed itself and created an entirely new civilization. Jakes, you owe me a Coke.
With more than 870 years on its established calendar.
Oh,
I think we are fine.
shall we tiptoe through the tulips? Then?
Unpleasant as it is. That is part of my job. Do something difficult to help my people.
But you make it look so easy.
I thank you. So let us travel north.
Down the hillside, you
To the
travel. By the time you reach the bottom,
Hashtag Andy Buff because I appreciates a good Tom Lehrer reference.
Thank you, Chad.
thank you.
Nice.
I
Thank
knew
you.
we were friends. Okay.
By the time you reach the bottom of this hill, what was that paved bits of road is completely gone, and you're
Oh,
kind of wading through the ash now. It's almost knee deep, the ash and sand in just parts. What's beneath that is just packed down
ash.
sand and ash. Yeah, it's very uncomfortable.
I am glad I am wearing armor.
Yes, the boots help a lot. You would not want to go barefoot through here.
I'm
as you
just
get closer and closer to
imagining
these-
wading through and like kicking things that could be skulls. I don't. Yeah.
We're going downhill currently?
Yeah, going downhill, you eventually get among these like skeletal structures of what were buildings.
It's only gonna suck when we start trying to go uphill in this.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Oh,
since
Lord.
we are in a blast crater, I imagine we will have an up.
That's my concern, yeah. Out of character speaking from having climbed Mount St. Helens back in the late 80s when it was
still like this.
mostly ash at the top. The last quarter mile to the top where it's just ash and all the rock is gone takes longer than the first 5 miles.
Wow.
Yeah,
So,
because you're like going down, down.
right.
Yeah,
Ooh.
there is
exhausting.
no plant life, insects, scurrying animals.
Even after all this time.
It is completely devoid of anything.
This is like
Remember how I said it was
Worse than
probably
worse.
healthy? I'm not sure if that's true.
And then you finally get among these ancient
Yes.
skyscrapers, the skeletons of them, and scattered at the bases of them are bones on the surface of the ash. Lots and lots of bones.
On the surface?
Yeah.
on the
Because
surface.
of the wind. Maybe the wind picked up the ash?
And the bones clearly are not ancient bones.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Like dropped, like there's
Can
indentations.
I make a notice roll?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna do that too.
Uh-huh.
We're just all gonna notice
Oh,
things. Except for Mark, who's not gonna notice
I made mine.
Oh, good.
I made mine.
Spot on.
4. Oh, wow.
I made mine by. Where's my notice? I can't notice my notice. I have heightened awareness. I noticed it.
Perception.
Augury bones, picked clean.
Oh, the big
No.
auguries.
Mhm.
Picked clean.
Absolutely picked clean. And just
Okay, so there
Are
is
there,
something
like-
here.
Gnaw marks? Are there
yes.
Small teeth or big teeth?
Well, it ate an augury.
many
Large
tiny teeth
scraped
and they're adorable?
Sections taken
No?
out of it.
Oh,
Large
never mind.
scraped sections.
I
Let's
was
try it.
so
Good try.
hopeful. I just want to just like
And are
Just
they?
an
Do
army
they
of
appear to be
chipmunks?
dropped from above? Like is the indentation into the ash straight down? Or
No, they don't have much of
scattered?
an impact, so they clearly weren't dropped. More like they're just put there.
oh
Not carefully placed by any means, just discarded. But not dropped from above, for they would have sunk down much more into the ash. I mean, unless there's tons of them underneath them, and that's just the top of a mountain of bones.
maybe.
I feel like
Science. I have archaeology. Science. I want to science that pile of bones and just make sure it doesn't go deeper down. I beat it. Oh, nope, I didn't.
Hard to say, but they have been picked clean. Hours pass
Sounds
moving
like
through
they're
these.
scraped clean.
Sucked.
Scraped clean is, yeah, very often. Hours pass when
Audrey
winding through these
barbecue.
skeletal structures of buildings. A
And
few of them are
literal
completely
skeletons.
tipped over. But there are, wherever these like building structures are, there are bone piles.
Nests.
Little bone piles.
Nests.
Is there poop anywhere?
Yeah, scatter. No?
No poop.
no footprints.
No.
Well, it's ash. It would blow away.
Eventually.
And
I am
while you
flying
can't
thing.
see the sun because of the ash clouds, it is definitely getting later and
Here
later, and
comes
it gets
the
darker.
sun.
And as the
Nice try.
sky grows darker, the temperature begins to rapidly drop.
Uh-oh.
And by the time it is fully dark, it is incredibly colder. It's probably dropped 50 degrees in temperature from what it was.
50.
Yes.
50?
This is Fahrenheit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and
gosh.
we were also
Better be.
cold to
very
begin
hot.
with.
Well, it was very hot here when you first came out of that
Oh,
cave.
that's
and
right,
now
that's
it
right,
is
that's
cold.
right, that's
The
right.
temperature differential is
Did any
well, it's
of
kind of
us...
like being deployed in the desert.
Desert.
Or,
Yeah.
Pax,
Yeah.
poop doesn't blow away. Sand blows away. Ash blows away. That's why. That's why.
Good point.
That's-
Also good point.
She asked.
And again, this whole hours of journey to the ash, there's been no plants, no water, nothing.
Did any of us
You're running low
skin
already.
the moths?
You are
We
running
smashed
low
them
on
off.
supplies already.
I'm just saying.
Because our porter of supplies is no longer with us. You have to get poisoned.
And there was nothing for him to have gathered along the way
But-
since you left the
It's a
mountain.
desert.
But I just expect that he would have it.
Of
He
course you
always
did.
had it, so he is supposed to have it. I still blame
And we-
him.
Excuses.
We didn't loot his body?
I get notice checks from everyone.
Oh,
please.
sweet.
Oh, good lord.
I beat that by wherever my
Must have
notice
been
is. I got an 8.
Excellent.
Beat by 5.
You can hear a sound that is distinctly the flapping of wings overhead.
Pterodactyls.
Is it the moth thingies?
Oh no.
The poisonous moth things
Poisonous
that killed
moth
our
things?
my.
Doesn't sound the same.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Not that actually makes it better. Dragon.
I'm gonna write it.
I'm just theorizing.
Of course
Okay, but you're rolling the big click lines, so
The way it went.
One fell.
He dropped one. That means that we're safe.
Yes.
We win.
That's
That
how
means
works,
he's only
right?
rolling with one now.
And then that
But no,
noise
that's
goes
worse.
really loud as though something's getting
I'm
closer.
putting my shield up.
And a pair of very large, taloned-like feet grab hold of Brother Tiber and pick him up.
I have danger sense.
How?
I can't be surprised.
I know.
Rude to go after the weakest member of our party.
Well, that's why we have to save them.
You will also act in the surprise round because you can't be surprised.
Okay.
So rather than just getting to carry you off the ground, you have an action before we will roll initiative. But you have been grabbed by something. The talons are really big. Like one could cover your torso, and there are two of them holding.
Do they seem to be like
dragons.
giant bird claws, or are they
They're
more like
curved.
lizards?
They look like they would be equally useful for grabbing or digging.
Interesting.
Connected to legs that are kind of pink and rubbery looking in the flesh on them. Rather grotesque.
Pink and rubbery.
Mm-hmm.
Like a chicken?
Like a giant chickens.
We're being attacked by giant chickens.
So
This
dragons.
is the only possibility. This is clearly the case. My action?
Mm-hmm. Before we go into rolling initiatives, what is your surprise round action because you can't be surprised?
I'm just gonna take take my spear that I'm walking around with and jab it right into the side of the foot in a way to hopefully be released by the.
I will take
Whatever
a fighting
grab
check or an athletics check, depending upon if you're trying to pry yourself loose or just trying to stab it and get it to let you go.
Trying to stab it.
Okay, give me a fighting check then.
I have a new theory. I no longer think it's chickens. I think it's a giant pigeon.
Beat it by 15.
Oh, good
Rolled a
stabbing.
1 and a 2.
Oh, wow.
So you will inflict double the normal damage that you inflict. So what would that be with that spear attack?
It is Spear of the Sacred Oath, 40 damage plus 10 armor piercing.
That's the normal damage?
That's the normal damage.
So it is 80 because you just exceeded it, the result by 10.
You stabbed it in the
6.
foot and killed it.
The toe.
That's
You
like
stabbed
the
Look,
classic.
a
all
stubbed
the way
toe.
through the leg of this thing, holding on to you and out the other side. And it kind of makes this horrible, like, squawking noise that is deafeningly loud and sort of just casts you aside with the other foot. So before you're even 3 feet off the ground, you are back down in the ash. And let's roll initiative, everyone.
Oh, goody.
My grandpa's so cool.
Wow.
Come on, murder pigeons.
18. Oh, that's a good
That's
one.
a good roll.
Oh, this is even better than I did.
Good roll. All right.
Nice.
22 plus 6, 28.
28. Wow, Andy James going fast.
27.
He was
Keep it in the
pissed about
family.
getting
Yeah.
taken.
All right, Andy James, we will start with you in the dark. Poor Gramps got grabbed by something that then let him go. You couldn't really get much of a view of it because it's dark.
Okay. I mean, okay. Okay.
But whatever
like,
it is, it's big.
So just curious.
And you're pretty sure there's more than one of them.
Of course there is. Why wouldn't there be? You're of course welcome to tell me to just screw off with this, but being that I'm bonded to half demon and they love the dark, do I have any like bonus on seeing
That would
dark?
be on your sheet.
I know
if
it
you
would,
had
but
it.
I'm asking anyway because I want it.
If it was on your sheet, absolutely. Does it say anything in those abilities about being able to see in the dark?
Try batting your eyelashes.
Yeah, that trick doesn't work.
Wait, spy stuff.
Shot.
I feel like spies are constantly.
Yeah, they use equipment to do so that you don't possess.
Yeah, it was worth a try though.
It
All
was.
right.
Good try.
Thank you. All right. In that case, being that I've got demons on the brain, just always, I'm going to.
Something's wrong. I think Terry's been a hashtag meltdown in my pod's system.
Oh,
This isn't an avatar. Where am I?
it's Brony, I think.
Oh. Thank you. Thank you.
Miss you. Oh, don't cry. All right. In that case, I'm going to take my sinister knife and throw it toward the shrieking.
Aiming off of sound.
Yep.
Can be done.
Can be done. All right. Shooting, I assume?
You can use
Shooting or
a shooting. You
athletics.
can use an athletics for throwing.
Oh, athletics is 2 points better, so let's do it. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm going to beat that by 4.
Beat that by 4. Well, the penalty for blind fire is 4, and then they have a dodge bonus of 2, so you're going to miss with that sinister knife throw. Just a little bit too late on the throw and missed whatever it was. It's big, but not as big as you anticipated before you threw, and so you missed.
It's all talents.
Bruno, you have a 27, and we'll be going next.
All right. So
Oh!
Yeah, he brought all the
Bruno.
toys today.
is going to take a shot and try and now. Can I see? Obviously, there's one that just grabbed me that's nearby.
Can
Yep.
you smell
Can I
its
see any
blood?
of the
Smell its
others
blood!
nearby?
No, but you can hear the flapping wings. There are more than one. Hard for you to say how many, but
So we'll do the first shot at the one that attacked me, and then we'll try and take a shot at one, estimating where it's at.
also firing blind.
Yeah.
Easily mistaken for a letter opener that just fell apart.
Oh. In my bag.
So
Well, not right now.
first shot, beat that by 6.
That is exactly enough to hit, including a 4-point penalty for firing blind and their 2-point dodge bonus.
I have only a -1 penalty for split attacks using a bow.
Yes.
So that would be the second shot is going to be
-1.
-1. Is that -2? Now is that with 2 attacks, or that's 1 attack firing twice?
Well, you have like 2 attacks, so 2 attacks firing twice, so you get to fire 2 shots at a -1.
So I can fire.
A total of 3 if you do that.
Gotcha. Okay.
And you've already fired once.
All right, and that's also 40 damage, armor piercing 10.
Whatever you hit crashed into the ash and sand somewhere out into the distance.
Okay, we're gonna try and shoot at one of the other ones based on where its sound is coming from. And I beat that by 9.
That will also hit.
Ooh.
You winged
I'm
another
really
one of these flying things, firing blindly with the bow in the dark.
That's
Just
impressive.
Find out how impressive that is.
And then the
That's
last
very
one
impressive.
beat by 10.
Because he's got a bow like Legolas and what appears to be a cookie on his character sheet, which basically sums Mark up as a person. Hashtag Bruno buff.
Thank you, chat.
It's clearly Lambus bread.
And
Like,
using your first shot as a guide, you fire that second shot, and another one of these things crashes into the sand and ash out in the distance,
It is an amazing bow.
killing 2 in a single round for Bruno. Who's keeping score?
oh, of course he is.
I guess that's cool. Whatever.
That counts as one.
For the longtime fans too, I do need to point out that this bow was originally used in the first Gamers.
Yeah, wasn't it the
for-
one that killed you?
Yes, it was. As a matter of fact, yeah, because both this one and the one that he used at the beginning of the filming process were my personal bows, and the one I had before we managed to break in the process of filming, and so I bought myself a really nice new one, and that's this one. And the cloak is actually also
Yes.
New Moon's cloak.
New one. I made these out of cereal boxes.
Those are like cooler.
They are
than
very
actual
cool.
wings. Like,
It's very cool.
yeah, those look so good for.
Okay, so what
Maybe
I would like to
cardboard.
do,
Yes.
do I still hear flapping?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. I cannot see.
No,
These
but you
foes-
have better senses than they do, so your penalties
True.
for firing blindly are half what theirs are.
Okay.
Sponsored by Metaverse.
So, but one did reach down and like dive.
Once, what? Yeah, did a bit of dive
So
bomb,
dive
and then he
bombing
killed it.
might be a thing.
Most definitely, probably a tactic thing.
So I would like to cover whoever is near me with my shield
Okay.
and hold up the sword
Aha.
so that like if it comes, so I'm gonna kind of
Just
like
I'm just gonna.
I'm gonna try not to hurt anything. Okay.
Unsheath
So
it, Sarah.
I don't really. Okay, I
Yeah.
didn't want to unsheath.
It's a stage combat sword. It's not sharpened.
Yeah, but it's still metal.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Which would, of course, make you a greater target for lightning if we were outside. But I think in here it's okay.
Well, there might be more lightning because of the ash. Actually, it's very conductive.
No, she means like in this.
in the-
studio.
Oh, right. Okay. So anyway, there's this sword, and it's a big sword.
Sarah has no idea how to hold.
I don't. They're like that, something maybe.
It
Ish.
depends.
Okay.
That
Whatever. So there's a big sword, and we're gonna like hide underneath the shield and stick the sword up strongly, so that if something
With
tries
great
to
strength.
dive bomb us, it will skewer itself.
So are you readying an action to attack
Uh-huh.
any one of these things that dive?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought
That's
you
my
were doing.
plan.
Well, because I'm about to do that, I'm going to go ahead and have you roll your fighting roll now.
Hold on. I have to adjust all my things. Okay. Roll fighting. Okay.
Mhm.
Do I get any bonus for the readying of it?
No, but you are not going to be penalized for the.
Oh, fighting swords! Yes.
Uh-huh.
Fighting swords.
Yes, you happen to have a specialization in fighting with swords in particular. Yes.
Yes.
You're very good with the sword.
And I can use it 3 times. So poke, poke, poke is what
Yes,
is
so I
my plan.
need-
So anyway, I beat it by 1.
Poke,
Do I
poke,
one?
poke.
Okay.
1.
give me 2
and
more.
now I do more poking. Okay. I beat that one by 5. And I beat that one by 5.
All right, the first one is just a little bit early and you miss as it tries to dive bomb your ant, but the second 2 successfully hit. What's the damage inflicted by your weapon?
40 damage, armor piercing 10. Sword of justice. Ugh.
And you stab this thing twice before it is able to grab onto your ant with its horrible talons and try to pick her up and carry her away, which it is doing so. However, I've got another one that comes in and misses you, Bruno, and then a third that misses you.
So it's just bleeding on her as he's.
as she's being carried off, but
Sorry.
thankfully for her own sake, Andy James is at the top of the initiative order, so she immediately gets to act as
Excellent.
this thing is starting to carry her
Excellent.
off into the sky.
Yes. So, so it has grabbed me.
Oh yeah,
And is
All right.
bleeding on
and
you.
much like your grandfather, you can observe that these talons are probably more effective for digging than for stabbing something to death.
Oh.
They're shovels.
Oh, that's interesting.
But they definitely are great for grabbing things.
Mm. Okay, but
You
I
might be
want
well lubricated with all the bleeding that it's
with
doing.
the
You can just slip right out.
The blood is yellow.
blood
Whoa.
is yellow.
Mhm.
Oh, it's like being covered in pus.
Yes, and it
Although
is
yellow is my favorite
horrible
color, so-
smelling. Absolutely horrible smelling.
Merc. Okay. I'm a squirrely individual. Is there any chance that I can
Wiggle out.
like climb out and climb up the talons?
Athletics or escape artist would
Excellent.
work, or sleight of hand. Any of those 3 skills.
I
are applicable.
absolutely have. Stop it. I'm not.
I don't even know what he's laughing
God
at.
damn it. No. Don't do that. That's a bad idea. All right. On athletics, there goes. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to beat that by 15. No, I'm not. I'm going to beat that by 13 because I can math.
That is a critical success, and you are quite capable of getting yourself out of its grip with that.
Yay.
All right. Out of its grip. Shit up its back.
Give me an athletics roll to climb up on top of it.
You okay there?
Just fine.
Yeah.
He's fine, clearly. That's a
That's
1.
a 1? Yeah. I'm going to beat that by 11.
And you scamper up the leg onto this thing that's about the size of a horse, really, so it's pretty almost well suited for this.
Nice horsey. Nice high horsey.
Not a single feather or bit of fur, just this rubbery pink skin.
Pink dragons. Pink pussy dragons.
Pink pussy dragons.
In fact, now that you're like in close proximity to it, it's starting to fly away, very uncomfortably trying to shake you off of it. Its head is very vulture-like.
Pink.
Yeah.
Pink fleshy vultures?
Ew.
Oh.
Baby vultures.
Baby vultures?
They don't have any feathers. They
Pink
can't fly.
fleshy vultures it always
can't
comes
fly.
back to the GOP for me.
The beak on it looks really well suited to scraping away flesh. And definitely matches up with those marks you saw on all those aubrey bones.
How's it going up there?
Oh, just great!
Maybe come
So
back.
I think this one's my friend!
No, it's not.
You have made 2 actions so far. Are you going to continue to act, or are we going to pass to the next person on the initiative count?
Sure.
We're getting into multi-action penalty territory.
Okay, we are, but I'm, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Okay.
I'm going to attempt to, does it have, like, any sort of fleshy knobs that I can...
No.
Damn it! That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. I mean, like, wrinkles or, like, ears or... No, you know what I did? That's not what I meant! This is what I meant. So there's nothing I can like try to steer it with.
Maybe the neck. Yeah, who knows?
I'm gonna try.
It's not really designed to be ridden by something. No.
You don't say. Okay. Well, I'm gonna try anyway. So.
Not surprised.
Yep. All right. What do you want me to roll on that? Persuasion.
I'll take another athletics roll.
Great.
I'm trying to force this thing to maneuver.
Can I at all ready myself to help catch her?
Hard to say where she's going to be in
All
just
right.
a moment.
Okay.
She's moving away from you rather swiftly at this point.
Okay.
But yeah, go ahead and give me another athletics check there, but you got the multi-action penalty system.
Facts.
You have a penalty of 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw. You have a penalty of 2 to this action.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna beat that by 8,
Including the 2-point penalty?
including the penalty.
Alright, you believe you're sort of forcing it to steer by kind of like choking it or hurting it or pinching its neck. I don't know. I don't really want to say anything. Because everything's
Pressure
gross
points.
at this point. Everything is perverted at this point, so we'll move on from that. And Bruno.
Okay, so first of all, I just have to say chat has the solid point. It's not animal husbandry in this case, it's animal wifery.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that's a very good point.
I feel like husbandry is about attitude. Okay, then.
So we're gonna do how many noises? How many of these?
Give me a notice and I'll tell you exactly how many you think there are.
I think there's 7 billion of them.
No, that
I
bad.
missed it by 2.
More than 1.
Ladies, there's 7
Okay.
billion. Thanks.
We're gonna shoot at the first one. that I
Clearly
didn't
these
hear.
men are bad in math.
Preferably not the one that
Well, it's
my
not their
granddaughter's writing on,
Okay.
and take a shot at it.
No.
Beat that by 11.
He's
Ooh.
not shooting at yours.
I know.
You
I
finish
read
off
that.
the one that was wounded.
Okay. And is there another one I can locate to shoot at?
You're pretty sure there's more than one.
Wow. Well, we're gonna take one more shot at that because I only beat that by 1.
That will be a clean miss.
That's a really bad roll. And that one's closer. Beat it by 6.
And another one you definitely hit. It makes the horrible screeching noise from the impact.
All right.
Jenika.
Same tactic.
Same tag. Well, there's only one person to shield now because
Well,
the
I
crazy
thought-
ant has ridden
Right,
off.
she's gone. I'm trying to call her back. I'm ducking under, holding up sword, and yelling, "What are you doing? Aunt, get down here!"
I think I've made a friend.
No!
Again, because they're going right after you, go ahead and make those fighting rolls now. As
I beat that by 7. I beat that by 5. And I beat... Oh, that one's right on.
all right, you stab upwards twice into one as it tries to dive bomb on you, and it hits the ground and rolls through the ash and sand.
Actually, the funny thing about the Leroy Jenkins thing is that last week I was really like fighting the urge to do that at one point.
To do what?
Leroy
Jenkins?
Jenkins.
Sarah's not a gamer. You don't know
No,
what Leroy
okay.
Jenkins is?
I've heard of it. I mean, I've heard it.
I really literally last week was thinking about that. I'm like, man, can I like throw this in there? And then I was like, don't do it. It's not. And here we are. Sorry.
So you managed to kill that one, and it crashes into the sand and
Yay!
ash. And a second one dives bombs beside you and tries to grab at Bruno and misses him cleanly. While the other one carrying you is going to try to throw you off of it. So you go ahead and make an opposed athletics roll to my athletics roll, and whoever has the greatest margin of success wins.
Bring it on.
Yeah, that's probably going to be pretty easy for you because I tied my athletics score.
Oh, and I beat it by 8.
So you are not thrown off to plummet to the ground to
Oh,
a
that's good.
horrible death.
Steer it down.
Well, I'm trying.
But once again, it is your turn.
Excellent.
James.
What kind of wings do they have?
They're very bat-like. There's no feathers on them.
Uh-huh. So if, say, I were to cut one off, I might be able to use it as a glider? I'm gonna try. You know I'm gonna try.
Then how about you just try instead of asking?
Well, because sometimes, James, we can tell whether or not you're gonna let us do a thing before we try to do it.
I'll let you try lots of things. It's just, a question of how it's going to work out.
So what do you want me to roll for that?
For this roll, you're going to have to cut the wing off first. So I'm going
Right.
to need a fighting roll for that.
Okay.
If you're thinking of doing something stupid.
I'm already doing it. All right, I'm gonna beat that by 6.
Beat that
It's
by
kinda her
6.
style.
And
You
I
cut
assume
into the
demon
wing,
knife.
but you don't cut the wing completely off with
Oh,
that.
shit.
It's just kind of a nasty wound, and then kind of spinning and through the air. It's really uncomfortable,
Hold
very
on.
fast.
But if it's spinning, maybe it's spiraling down.
Yeah, so it's definitely spiraling.
That was one
spiraling
action
down.
so far. Are you going to continue to act?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, well then give me another fighting roll if you're going to keep trying to cut this wing off.
Yeah, why not? Why not? It's just me and the bird, right? Yeah, okay, cool. What, is there a penalty on that?
No.
No. Excellent. Glad to hear it. I'm gonna beat that by 7.
Beat that by 7. You continue cutting into and manage to cut the wing free.
Okay.
But you're going to
How high
have
off
a
the ground is
multi-action
she?
penalty to this attempting to use a wing to slow your fall. I'm not even sure what skill to use for
I mean,
this one.
I would assume athletics because I'm
Yeah, I'm going
using
to
it
go
like
with
a
athletics
glider.
because I can't think of a better option
Gambling.
right now.
Or gambling.
Gambling.
Gambling's good too.
Okay, I mean, it's been a while. Like, at some point, you just need to put onto her character sheet just crazy shit. Like,
No.
okay.
I'm just gonna do it anyway, is the thing.
Just make it be at an 8.
He's trying to make it so I do it less and putting crazy shit on myself.
No, I just want you to
put it in, like,
explain
a
it with another
skill,
skill.
like
That's
seven.
all.
Oh.
Spy stuff because it's like Charlie's Angels level crazy.
Do.
I'm going to go with athletics over spy stuff.
I mean, they're
I
the
mean,
same score.
You remember the
so-
first Charlie's Angels movie with Drew Barrymore when they like jumped into the
I
plane and
do.
parachuted into the
I
plane
do
and then
remember
flew the
that.
plane?
I'm not even going to begin to address that.
And then like she lands in the
Uh-huh.
boat from the
Then-
thing, and then like
And they peel
Oh,
off their
gosh.
masks and they're the
I
Charlie's
had a
Angels.
whole awakening during that movie.
That's so good.
That's not how that works.
Anyway, okay. Athletics roll. Yeah, okay. Is there a penalty on that one?
Well, I just need to know your margin of success because that's going to determine how much of the fall you reduce the old damage by.
I succeed by 4.
See by 4? All right, you're only going to take 40 points of damage from the fall.
Only 40.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. In
In addition,
oh, it doesn't
you
matter.
hit the nice, fluffy,
Soft
ash. So, but you just fell
But-
more than 150 feet from the air and didn't die.
Hair flip.
Aunt! You okay? How far away from us is she now?
Judging by these screeching...
Spin it, let's begin it, bear and grin it. When you're in it, you can win it in a minute. When you spin it, ha ha ha. So spin it. Tail spin. Hashtag meta point.
Thank you, chat.
Thank you, chat.
That was a great cartoon. It was so good.
Judging by the sound of the one-winged
tailspin.
creature that crashed and died, she's probably about 300 meters from you.
Oh, sweet Lord, that's a long way.
But there are now no
No flappies?
sounds. The last set of flapping wings is growing distant very rapidly.
Aunt!
I.
Aunt!
Keep yelling! We will find you!
What did I yell?
Just say like Marco or Polo or whichever one it is.
Marcus.
Aurelius.
I like that game. Marsha, there you go. Marsha Polo.
Marsha.
You are able to catch up with Andy James after a brief period of time. You pass several of these dead things that you killed.
Ow.
What do they look like up close?
Ow.
Like slightly larger than a horse that was hybridized with a mole and a bat.
I want one.
Batmole horse.
With a vulture-like head.
A Batmole vulture horse.
Yeah.
So a little like a possum.
Do you just look at nature books and take pages out and stick them together?
No.
He's got like one of those, remember like the kids' books where you have like the head and the body
yeah.
and just like flip the different ones?
No, but that's a great idea.
That's a great idea. That's a wonderful.
I'm pretty sure
A
that's how
naked
some of
mole
the
bat.
monster manual animals are created for
Sure.
back in the day.
Very possible. This actually came from a picture from something called Gamma World. If you're really old, you can remember it.
I'm as really old as you are. What's Gamma World? I don't even ring a
Yeah.
bell.
It's also really obscure.
Okay. So if you're really old, you might remember it.
If you're obscure.
If you're obscure. If you're really old and obscure, you might remember
You
it.
just described
What
me.
if I'm obtuse? Does
That's
that
a fair
count?
point.
That's too obscure.
If you're obtuse, you
Damn it.
can't be as obscure.
Right. There's
Mm-hmm.
there.
I lost the train.
It's-
All right.
It's it'll
Word-
be back in like 10 minutes.
Word pictures. Aunt!
Niece! I mean my queen!
Are you injured?
Ow.
So yes.
'Tis but a flesh wound.
I have medicine 10. Can I attend her?
You can try.
How's she look?
Bruised.
Ravishing.
Maybe a broken bone. Hard to say.
I got right on.
She doesn't seem to be in too bad of a condition. I mean, all things considered, that was a lethal fall, but she didn't
How did you manage that?
kill her.
Leroy Jenkins.
That's how you managed that?
I mean, she's always been notorious for being able to
Prayed
shrug
to
off
one of
pain,
the male
but
gods.
that is something else.
All right. I am glad you are not as badly injured as you could have been. That was stupid.
I was possessed by the spirit of adventure, and yes, you are correct.
When
That
there are
was
only
very
3 of us left in the realm that we know of, adventure shall be a spirit that you quelch.
Yes, my queen. I will attempt to quelch.
Squelch?
Squash? Quash?
Quash. I don't know.
Squash.
Squash. Is quelch a word?
Abstain from.
All of the above.
Quell! That's the word I
Quell!
wanted. Quell.
You were just combining words.
I-
That is great. I liked it.
Squelch. Well,
I write. It's cool.
squelch is a word too. Like squelch is.
Squelches, yeah. I mean, it's an
Suppression.
onomatopoeic word, right?
Quelch to make a squelching noise. It is a real word, or did you just define it? Or did I just... No, okay.
It's a real word.
Well, why wouldn't it be squelch? Squelch is a better word for making a
Because-
squelching noise.
No, squelch
Because
is
squelch
the action
is-
of doing the squelching. It's the
This
suppression.
squelch is the action of quelching? It's the action that makes you quelch?
So like in the old days, the radios, you know, like the static when you've got an analog radio, you get like.
Yeah.
The squelch is turning down the like amperage on that radio frequency so that you eliminate the static but keep the voice.
So that
going.
is the
He's saying
Squelch
like
and
it's
the
a
quelch
real
is the
thing, and I
turning?
believe him.
wait.
It is.
Is quelch the turning and the
Yeah, see?
is the squelch?
No, the squelch is the and the static that you hear is this, and as you turn the squelch up, the squelching eliminates that static sound. The more you know. Welcome to Planet Metaverse, where we will teach you about random birds
Obsolete
like
things from
squelching.
CB
Obsolete
radios
bird-
and the like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
They have the coolest grin.
Grandpa knows about
Well,
radio.
when he was a kid, CB radios were new.
That's true. They're pretty
Okay,
exciting.
can we write a song called Grandpa Knows About Radios now?
I tasked
I
you with
think you
that.
just volunteered your
There
next
you go.
waffle. There you go.
Grandpa knows about radios.
Excellent.
Yeah, Bruno did build that radio by himself when he was a little kid, so
Sent
that was,
away
like,
for
the
it in
coolest thing
Sears
to do.
robot catalog.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yep.
Which was also in the library.
It
Oh, yeah.
probably was. Yeah. I don't know that Bruno saw it, but it was probably there.
I vote
You're
now
the
that we
queen.
are. I know I am the queen, but we are a trio,
Mhm.
and I feel that at least some manner of majority should have opinions. And you'll always have my opinion, so I win anyway. That we should just leave these creatures to desiccate on their own and go farther north.
Did you have another option in mind?
Often you would bury dead.
I think the ash will probably take care of it.
I agree. That is why we should
They
leave it.
might also be eaten by their own kind. We don't know.
So we should hasten our
Yes.
departure. Because perhaps the stench is appealing to them.
It is really foul smelling, especially the blood is really horrible smelling.
Let us away.
What do you think makes the
Air
blood
break
yellow?
of day to seek our long forgotten gold. Great.
What?
What do you think makes the blood yellow?
You have now
Acid,
sulfur.
traveled
Radioaction?
an
Radioactivity?
entire 24-hour period straight without rest.
We should... Where are we going to rest that is safe?
We need to find shelter.
We could.
Don't
And-
say skin one of those animals and,
And the
make a house
sun
out
is
of it.
beginning to rise, but again, you can't see it because the ash is still ever present in the
That
clouds
was a long
there.
battle.
Can we see far enough to make out more buildings or structures or anything that we could find some shelter?
There's just more of those, skeletal structures of buildings you must have kept moving past in the night. Whatever this city was a long time ago, it must have been quite massive.
Let's find one that has a corner and part of a
Tipped
floor or
over.
something like
Yeah.
that. Something where we can
Tipped over
create a
part.
cave type section.
With the rising sun, the temperature spikes again, and by the time you find a place that is somewhat
Covered.
shade and cover, it is once again really hot and really dry. And at this point, you have depleted all of your water resources.
All of it?
Mhm.
Oh.
Survival. I'm looking for water. I got right on.
You're pretty sure there's no water here.
I would suggest continuing on.
Yeah.
It is important that we don't talk
I think
while the sun is out.
we need to sleep in the shade,
Yes.
Mm.
and get rest, and then travel as the sun sets again.
Yes.
That is our plan.
You sleep through the hottest part of the day.
Did we set lookouts? and
I'm
sleeping
assuming so.
shifts? Okay.
You sleep through the hottest part of the day, and not a single thing can be seen, no life forms, none of these crazy, strange creatures seem to be out during the day. But a couple of times when were there and you had your watch up, some of those silvery things streaked by in the sky overhead,
Oh.
back and forth, all
Oh.
coming from or going to the north.
Oh, great.
We just have to get there quicker.
And then you set out, the sun is beginning to get lower in the sky, but there's still enough that you can see as you travel past these skeletal structures and buildings. And as you travel, they get smaller and smaller, not as though the buildings were smaller, but as more and more of them were just destroyed or
Or the
something.
bigger part of the
They're
city was
flattened.
and this is the suburbs.
It's possible, but they just seem to be more damaged. Less of them remain
Oh,
in most cases.
Got it. We're
And-
nearing the center of the blast.
Yeah, still going down slope a little bit at this point. And then you reach a large drop off at the edge of one of these. It's about 60 feet down. And the storms kind of stop for just a small amount of time, where you can see that this drop off is in fact the edge of a massive crater. Over a mile inwards is the crater's center. And there's a massive blackened tower rising high into the clouds above. You can't see a top of it, and it just goes up into the clouds and disappears.
Wow.
At the base of it, there's dozens of prefabricated buildings that have been
Great.
set up.
That
And
have
it's-
been set up?
Yeah, have been set up in a
Like-
single gate that has a shimmering field in it. Andy James, you recognize the prefabricated buildings and shimmering gate. You've seen these before in the Dinoverse very recently.
I think it is the Skystone as well.
Nearby that,
I
you
think
see
you're right.
a launch pad, and they're assembling what looks to your eye, again, Andy James, is the core of one of those orbital platforms. So they're setting it up to launch into space.
Great.
There are hover tanks and silvery little ships scattered about all over, and some of them are driving in little patterns around the area. There are dozens and dozens of armored troops also scattered about, and a perimeter of tanks and entrenched positions surround the massive tower itself. Occasionally, individuals can be seen going in and out of this tower at the base. Most of them are not wearing that armor. They just look like normal people in lab coats.
Well, I guess we don't have to wonder where to look for it anymore.
Truly not.
Why is it never easy?
I do think their white coats would help breathing in the dust. Put it on their face.
Mm. How do they keep them so white? Their laundry bill has to be extraordinary.
They probably have men inside that do it.
Of course.
I guess we need to find our way towards the nearest building.
Now, kind of centralized around that tower, so a full perimeter set out around it. They're defending that whole area particularly well.
Avoid.
We do not appear like those people.
We could.
We could, but we do not at this moment.
We could
Then the-
kidnap a scientist or 3, put on their white lab coats, and walk freely through.
Head held high,
Head held high.
like we own the place. Which
we
we
do
should.
own the place. Well, you
Indeed.
own the place. We're also filthy, and I'm covered in yellow blood, so that might not work after all.
Kidnap 4, wipe you off with 1.
There we go. There we
How
go.
do we access the scientists in the first place? Blending in
Well-
with the crowd is clearly the best option, but how do we actually access that ability is the
If
challenge.
we shout, climate change is fake, I'm sure several will pop up to tell us we're wrong.
But will you listen?
I will. Hasn't made me stop driving my car or, ordering things off the internet, but that day will come.
Small steps.
What do the scientists, can we see them? Do they look
It's over a mile away, so it's not really
they're just
detailed.
hominoid looking?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
It appears
Mostly it's the very differentiated by they're not wearing big, bulky metal armor.
Right.
It appears all the transportation is by jet. They're flying in.
Yeah, there are
Dropping
those
people
those
off,
hover
like,
tanks,
yeah.
but they seem to be set up mostly in a defensive perimeter around that area.
Yeah, so
Wait. They're set up in a defensive perimeter around there. We could steal a hover tank. I have riding.
pretty sure Andy does too.
Can we write it?
Uh-huh.
Weirdly,
How
I
do you
don't. How do I not have writing?
How does Andy James not have
Andy
writing
James, you
machines?
seem to recall from running into a couple of these hover tanks when you were in the Dinoverse that they were remotely operated rather
yeah,
than
no,
having
I-
someone inside of them.
Bummer.
I just got so excited about the writing and didn't even think about that.
And you also seem to recall them blowing up their own equipment upon it
They
getting
do that.
captured.
To do that.
And in this crater, it's not nearly as ashy and windy and stuff. So
It's
we can
pretty
see.
solid, yeah. I mean, there is a lot of it, but it seems as it's been blown into the crater.
Right, and it's not moving around because it's below the
Mm-hmm.
the winds essentially.
So we're all
So hiding is going to be a challenge.
sneaky. You're all sneaky people.
And they are.
And we're all covered in gray dust, and everything in this area is gray,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You might have to abandon your armor, my queen. It's a clink clank.
It is true. However,
Clink clank.
we could also wait until nightfall as well.
That would also help. Although everything is louder at night. I don't know if anybody has noticed this, but when it is nighttime, any noise is magnified by 10.
We're in the desert. I don't think that'll come into play in this situation.
The sand would muffin it.
Sand muffins,
Sand
my
muffin.
favorite.
Oh, no, that does not sound good.
In any iteration of muffin, no sand.
I mean, it kind of sounds like kids playing in the sandbox,
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Mommy, I made you a
pies
muffin.
and,
Uh-huh.
Mud pies. It's the cousin to the mud pie.
It is. Sand muffin.
I can elaborate no further.
Please don't.
I know, but everybody's expecting me to anyway. All right. Yeah, I think if we wait till night, lose the clank clank,
Lose the clank clank.
sneaky sneaky.
Sneaky sneaky.
These are all the technical terms.
Nobody's moved much on their sliders tonight, and while
No.
Terry's a general miffed feeling about the Mountie uniforms,
no.
I suppose James should get something this evening. # system shock.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
This could be bad.
We're going to have to use that since you gave it to me, because
Yes.
I really
Thank you,
want that.
Chad.
Thank you. Thank you, Chad.
Oh no.
Let's start over with
Fair
Bruno.
I know.
And we're going to move you 2 steps closer to Avatar, Bruno.
I'm nervous.
I'm worried about this.
I'm nervous.
Hop over here to Jenika, and we're going to put you full pilot, Jenika.
Yeah.
But what if I bond with the wrong person? I'm scared.
And to Andy James, we're going to put you full Avatar.
Oh, good.
Oh wow.
Oh,
But it's
good.
not completely hopeless. You do have 2 meta points in the store you can use if you're really unhappy where you're at.
I'm just.
And you have
concerned.
2 buffs in the store, Andy James. So
Oh,
you could use
2.
any one of those to put yourself anywhere. So you were probably the least inconvenienced of anyone by this.
Hair flip. Alright.
But that might put a little wrench in your plans.
Yeah, because, you know what I'm not? Sneaky. She not sneaky. Wait, let me see. No, not sneaky. Okay. Cool.
I have psychiatry.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to hypnotize her to be sneaky.
Reverse through me.
I would like you to roll against your psychiatry
Will do.
skill. And Andy James, I would like you to roll against your soul score.
Okay. Well, soul is 8, so.
I beat mine by 8.
And I lost mine by 2.
That is more than enough. You are able to hypnotize her, and while this...
#Bruno buff, #Jenika buff, and to balance the scales have some buffs as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very sweet.
And you're able to convince her to attempt to do so, but this does not actually make her more sneaky, but it will make her more inclined to try to be
And
sneaky.
most people do not think hypnotism really works. And so the placebo effect of her thinking that it worked
Will
will help it work.
Can we like act out how this scene went?
I think you should.
Okay.
What is this place? It's strange. I can see pilots and avatars, but I know nothing about any of them. What is this place? What is the hashtag meta point of it all?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Oh gosh, who is this avatar? Okay.
Okay, this is tried and true woman science. Men had nothing to do with it. It works very well.
Men in science have no place with each other, and while we are at it,
We don't need to
can we discuss you have been treating this man as an equal?
I apologize.
I am sorry,
For
it's
that.
not my place, my queen, to criticize. I just thought I raised you better than this.
Indeed, you have, and I will rectify that. Could you look at my pencil, please? Writing input chalk. What is it? I don't know. The stick. Look at the stick, please. Okay. This stick
Slightly phallic, yes.
is slightly phallic, and we know what the one good thing is they are for.
I suppose if you're into that.
Right. So, procreation is important. I need you to look at the stick. You may be disdainful at the stick. You may be amorous towards the stick. It is up to you. However, you need to focus on it.
Just because we need a little Andi in the equation. Hashtag personality want a pilot, please.
Oh, when am I gonna get moved? Thank you,
Thank
chat.
Thank you, chat.
Thank you.
All right. Stay focused on this. I will count to 5, and you will be focused. All of your attention, all of your energy on this stick.
It says soft.
It does indeed. So make that happen whatever you like emotionally. The more emotional you are about the stick, the better. Okay? You are going to be convinced that you are sneaky. And in that convincing, you will be sneaky. All you have to do is look at the stick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When I bop you on the nose with the stick, you will be sneaky.
You know what would make this like the best episode of Metaverse ever? Is if she actually managed to hypnotize it.
I was getting
Love
there.
your,
I was really just I was in that space.
Oh, and because we have a
I
short
feel like
episode
you would
today,
easily do
we're
that.
gonna take a
Probably.
quick break
I'm
and we'll be
scared.
back in 5 minutes to finish out this episode. Love you guys. See you in a
Thank
minute.
you.
Welcome back, everybody! We're here to continue our episode here of Masters of the Metaverse on the Zombie Orpheus Entertainment channel on Twitch. Now, we were planning a stealthy entrance, and I would like to hear more about this plan.
Looks like some sneaky is coming up. Have a hashtag cool rule for the fun of infiltration.
Thank you.
At the same time, enjoy a hashtag meltdown too.
Yes!
How do we do that at the same time?
Okay.
We actually have done that before.
Yeah, that's
Oh, I
been
know.
done,
I've
yeah.
done it before.
Oh.
It's way more difficult.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
I've seen you do it
Yeah,
actually.
thank
Now that I think about it. Okay.
Okay.
So are we doing either of those things immediately, or?
Well,
like,
I hypnotized her.
She's hypnotized, yeah.
I am hypnotized.
She is now officially sneaky.
I am hypnotized instead of being hypnotizing. Okay, no, you're right.
They are-
that was.
They are not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, you can be
You
both
would.
simultaneously.
Yeah, okay, sorry. We're playing a game. We're doing a thing. We're okay.
I'm just interested in this plan.
I hypnotized her, and we
Does
are waiting for cover of nightfall.
Does the hypnotizing? Do I like? Am I
It
roll?
will make you
Like I would
quieter.
have to. I would have to roll 12s to get to stealth. Does that get me like a step closer?
No, but you are very convinced that you are sneaky, so that has its own effect. The placebo effect is real when it comes to hypnosis.
I'm envisioning
Kronk.
Kronk from
I
Emperor's New
do.
Groove. No.
She does not
so
clap
excited.
when I clap. It was a nose bopping trigger. When I bop her on the nose with the stick again, she will be unsneaky. So I am never going to bop her on the nose again.
But there are, of course, buffs you can use and 3 meta points in the store if you feel like you need.
I mean,
to
I
do those
might,
yourself.
but I also kind of want to see how she sneaks.
All these things are up to you. But again, I want to hear more about this sneaking plan. They have an entire defensive perimeter set
Okay.
up, entrenched positions, hover tanks. They're obviously in high-tech armor with high-tech equipment.
My queen,
Yes.
this is what I suggest. I suggest that we charge into battle sneakily.
That is not sneaky.
Sneakily.
No, that is not sneaky.
Sneakily, so that we can. What do you mean that's not sneakily? I am a very sneaky person.
Yes, I know this, but the strategy must also be sneaky in order to best use.
We were
your-
charging into battle sneakily. It's sneaky. It's a sneaky
the
strategy.
No, the strategy must be more stealthy than to just add the adjective sneakily. Add verb.
So I cannot decapitate them sneakily.
If one was by itself and was quiet when one was decapitated, then yes, that could be sneaky.
But there are 3 of us.
Yeah, no, I meant
And thousands of
and,
them.
right. You would have to get one of them alone to decapitate it silently.
Closer
I
to
can
a
get
few
one of them
hundred,
alone.
Bruno, but
So no to the charging in. So charging itself is an unsneaky word. If you're going to look at the connotation of the word charging and the connotation of the word sneaky, they do not have any similar connotations.
When did you become so analytical, my queen?
Reading books is for women, and so I educate myself to be a better ruler.
Tell me more about this reading.
There are books. Many of them have nude pictures in them.
Well, then I am
Those are
already
fascinating.
interested. Why is every single one of my avatars a horn dog? Explain.
Because we are horny people
They-
in general.
I'm going to go
People
with
are
the person
sexual
playing them.
beings.
Okay.
The person playing them is
I-
responsible.
The person playing them loves a low-hanging fruit.
I was-
I think that's the issue.
I was going to go with we are sexual beings by nature.
Especially if the low-hanging
I'm
fruit
gonna
is
go with that
attached to
too.
a beard.
Bearded low-hanging fruit.
They make trimmers for those.
And welcome to Masters of the Metaverse on the Zombie Orpheus Entertainment channel here on Twitch.
Don't spill your tea, dude. That's going to hurt.
The tea is hot. All right.
A little highbrow humor like that.
I mean, when the low-hanging fruit is low-hanging fruit, it's like...
I'm sorry,
there's
could
like
you explain
layers of
low-hanging
low-hanging
fruit to me again?
His testicles. All right.
What?
She said I was testing you. That's what she said.
Don't get testy with me.
Okay.
So I propose we go toward the closest people clad in their lab coats and sneakily
Sneakily, very sneakily.
incapacitate them.
With my axe.
Or another weapon. Mm-hmm.
With my knife.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
With my sword.
No, knife.
Knife.
Mm-hmm. And then take their coat and then move on to the next closest. Is this not a plausible plan?
Are the scientists on this side of the
They're
military lines?
no, they're definitely deep into the perimeter. They're
Who are the
probably
closest-
most protected.
Who are the most closest people that have uniforms of some kind?
There are armored opponents in entrenched positions, setting an entire perimeter around their encampment area.
We can take on armored opponents sneakily.
Then patrolling tanks.
Those are going to be more difficult. So I propose we avoid the tanks.
Okay. So we will not charge into battle.
No.
We shall sneak
Yes.
like cowards.
No. Like ninjas.
Something in my head has a reference for ninjas.
They are sneaky
They're
and
against pirates for some reason.
yes.
Huh.
Frequently they are. At least in the best
And
movies.
I dislike pirates, so we shall sneak
Yes.
like ninjas!
Quietly.
But quietly. We shall sneak like ninjas quietly.
Because I have learned you're not allowed to announce that you are sneaking.
Then how will people know?
You just tell me.
We shall sneak like ninjas.
Sneak like ninjas.
Quietly.
And deadly.
And the man shall stay safe.
No, he shall also sneak like a ninja.
The man shall sneak like a ninja.
Have you not noticed his prowess in battle? He killed 2 of those stinky flying things. 3, 4.
I did notice his prowess. I assumed it was a fluke. Is he capable of sneaking quietly?
I believe.
Well, he would have practiced his whole life being quiet. You keep trying to talk.
More so than thou, Lady Helga.
I have had no need to be quiet. I have simply done.
Let's
And
leave
big
philosophical discussions aside and continue with the quiet sneaking.
Quiet sneaking. Quiet sneaking. Yes,
I
quiet.
think it's stealth rolls from everyone attempting to be sneaky.
So I don't have stealth on, so I'm rolling on my.
You'd be rolling against your covert ops if you happen to have that skill on
Yeah.
Andy's sheet.
Yeah.
Using the higher dice,
using
of course.
using the 12s.
Mhm.
The 12s with a penalty of 2. Is that right?
Yeah. Oh, no, you're just using the 12s.
No, I'm just using.
No, it's got 12s is in the center, right?
Oh, yeah, you're using 12s with penalty of 2. I can't
Tens,
quite see
eights,
your
12s.
slider.
Yeah, because she's
Okay.
one over. Because you can't use an all in one.
No.
Ooh, that's not bad.
That's I mean, actually, I'm going to beat that then by 5.
You beat that by 5. Okay.
Beat mine by 1.
Beat yours by 1.
Beat mine by 9.
See, he is excellent at sneaking.
Especially when I roll a 3 and a 1.
You approach their combat line as the sky is growing darker and the temperature is dropping. Getting closer and closer until you're almost on top of this combat line.
Yep, Andy wanted to make a joke about that, but here we are.
Mm-hmm. You're very near one of these entrenched positions, waiting for one of the tanks to pass by before approaching it. It's not out in the open. When you hear voices from that entrenched position, detecting the presence of metapilots with our scanners. We have metapilots in the vicinity.
Does the tank sound like a train?
Yes.
At that very moment, it does.
Explains so much.
My aunt. Kill that one.
Excellent.
Can we see the entrenched?
Yeah, they
personnel?
actually had to build it because there isn't anything that they could dig into to create it. So it looks like those prefabricated structures, but just a single low wall.
From our current positions, can I take a beat on any of them?
Oh yeah. They have a little bit of cover, but they're not completely concealed, and they are obviously very closely looking out into the area around you and past you, trying to see you, but they don't seem to have noticed any of you.
But how sneaky can I possibly be?
We are about to be discovered.
I hate to do it, but I'm gonna use a meta point
Using a meta point.
and go
Use them.
deeper.
That's what they're there for.
Full
Thank
avatar.
Nice.
you. Thanks, chat.
Okay.
Thank
At
you
the
very
same
much.
time, if I may, because you're aiming for one of them.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna try to drop the other with my throwing axe.
Okay.
And I'm going to very sneakily yell, "I need to ask you a question." As I do it. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna make it, but I'm only gonna make it by.
Anything from yourself?
Oh, yes. Yes, I have shooting and I have a bow and arrow.
Okay, I want all the dice rolls before I get the results.
Okay, I'm shooting as Jenika, but using Shandroth's bow.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Okay. I beat it by 1.
All right, you beat yours by 1.
Oh wait. Are they armored?
Oh yes.
Okay, so instead of I'm gonna ask you a question, I'm gonna use my knife because I feel like that's got
It's done pretty well
less
against the armored
chopping and
opponents.
more like shooting. But yes, I will make that by 4.
My bow is armor piercing, by the way.
Yeah,
armor
we will
piercing.
get you damage
Okay.
results in 1 second as soon as I get results.
So 2 shots targeting the heads of the targets with a beat 1 by 9, beat the second by 11.
Ooh, 1 critical and 1 normal hit. Okay. Now we'll go through and do damage. We'll start with Jenika. What did you say it was?
Magrim, the bow of the north, does
Yes.
30 damage, armor piercing 20.
Armor piercing 20. That overcomes half of the armor value of your target.
Is that cumulative then? Like if I shoot it again, then it's fully
No, each
done?
one is handled separately.
Okay.
But you are able to penetrate the body armor, which no arrow should be able to do.
Oh,
And it does definitely hit in the shoulder region of your target. For yourself, Miss James, you once again see that this demon knife is very effective against armored opponents, as though the metal is not even there. And both yourself and your grandfather kill your targets outright, leaving only the one remaining in the entrenched position. Which we're going to roll
That's not
for
sneaky,
initiative
not
here, and if he
wanting.
manoges to beat you on initiative, he will raise the alarm.
yeah. Okay, so somebody rolled really high.
Okay.
Not you.
Put those clacks down.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on!
Okay, you guys suck.
It's all you, Sarah.
Can I use my bonus from Patreon in my initiative buff?
All right,
Yes.
that is a good use of it.
Says the man who
24.
probably rolled.
24, wow. Okay. How about you, Andy James?
Thank you, Patreon.
Can we just skip the part
No,
where
I-
10?
10. Okay. Bruno?
Hey, you know, our family, we do things together. 10. Mind you, that took us rolling 4 on 12-sided dice. A total of 4. 2 and 2 and 1 and 3.
That does mean that, Jenika, you are going to be the only one that will get to act before him. So it is up to you to stop an alarm from going off. Tell us how you plan to do that.
You're gonna take my demon knife? It's a good use of the demon knife. I didn't know any other people could use it.
Oh, yeah, there's just consequences. So I'm going to need your athletics or fighting roll to use the knife first.
Nice.
I have been smited.
I beat that by 9.
Beat that by 9. Oof, that is a perfect throw. Now I need you to roll against your soul score.
Okay. I beat that by 5.
All right, you managed to handle the demon knife without suffering any ill effects.
Dang.
It just gets really warm in your hand before you're able to throw it.
That's because it's hugging her back.
Mm-hmm. And you kill this third and final sentry in that position.
Thank you. Here you go.
But how?
And you
But
know that,
how?
judging by the timing, you probably have about another minute or less before another one of those tanks comes around and makes a pass. And it's going to be really obvious to them that the 3
Those guys are dead.
soldiers are dead.
We should move on.
Mm-hmm. Can we blame it on a naked mole bat?
Do you have one with you?
No.
Okay then, move on.
I knew we should have skinned one. All right.
Did you want to carry that around all day? I can't imagine them getting to smell better.
No. Can I scrape off a little bit of the naked mole bat blood?
You doubt
Try it.
that's going to be effective.
Frame.
With the
It's worth a try.
look, the naked mole bats attack them with
Oh no! not the
arrows
naked mole
and
bat.
like
They're evolving.
But you managed to get pretty close. You are right at the edge of this outer perimeter, and it's maybe 300 meters to that tower from here.
Is there a door?
There was an entryway that you saw before it got dark, those scientist individuals coming in and out of.
I had the same thought, Mark. It's Han Solo time. It's like, let's dress up as stormtroopers, get on the radio.
Doesn't the armor
We're all good here. We're all fine.
Doesn't
How are you?
the armor explode if we wear it?
They do have the ability to set off that armor and detonate it. Putting it on could be a high-risk maneuver.
So the question is, can we fake being them?
Well
without-
enough.
But they're almost all of their technology scans their DNA.
Yes, you actually know that. That
I
is
do
very true.
actually know that. Deep down in the recesses of the monkey brain, riding around on mine.
My lady, what is DNA?
Could we do Edgar suits? Edgar
It is
suits?
something only women know of. As science is our realm.
As someone who's trained in martial warfare, you do know that taking off and putting on armor takes significantly longer than 1 minute as well.
Certainly.
Probably skinning them and wearing their skin also would take
Oh,
longer. than a
much
minute.
longer.
You and the skinning. Let's
But
run.
again, you have less than a minute before a
Let's
tank
run.
comes through and makes
Let
it
us
around.
run with sneakiness,
Yes.
Give me more stealth checks
which I'm rolling on 12s with a. Okay.
or covert ops in your case, if you wish.
Okay, but oh yeah, okay. So,
There are still two
there
meta
are
points
so
when-
there are no benefits to the hypnotizing. Like I can't just roll on d12s without the penalty.
No, you think you are being very sneaky.
Okay, so it's not really.
Confidence does make a difference.
Okay, all right. I am confident.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. All right. All
I
right.
beat mine by
all
2.
right.
By 2? Okay.
I beat mine by several because math. 2.
2.
I also beat mine by 2.
Oh, it's a family affair.
You close more than 200 meters of distance closer to that tower before that tank manages to come around, and the alarm is
Huge
raised.
The alarm is raised.
And soldiers start running about, and they turn on bright spotlights and searchlights and start moving in through the compound. I will need another set of stealth checks, please.
Beat that by 4.
By 4,
Beat it by 2.
by 5, and by 2. Okay.
Confidence. It's a thing.
I know. The exact same roll once again.
On 12s, that's pretty good.
On 12.
It's not
And
the
they're
walking-
still searching around with searchlights and scrambling around the perimeter when you reach the tower entrance. Now, it looks as though it's been messed with quite a bit. Like there was a large set of doors here that someone has attached wires in an exterior box to give some form of controls to it. As though whatever was here before, they had to find a way to break open as opposed to...
Oh, so it's not an alarm. It's a boom to make it openable.
Yeah, you don't think they built this tower. They've
They're
tried to
using
force
it.
their way in.
Okay.
Mm.
So we're at a barricade though, right?
You have passed the perimeter. You are at the
Oh.
tower at the center.
So we were able to get through without any
Mhm.
trouble. Okay.
Because we're
So
sneaky.
they're still looking around that perimeter, very and the interior of it as well at this point, very closely.
Yeah.
And they're starting to move around some of those large box devices you saw previously that they used to locate metapilots
Oh,
and
boobs.
avatars. Mhm.
Quick, in. Come on.
Go
Does
in.
anyone have a computer-based skill to?
Yes.
roll? Okay,
Yes.
I'm gonna need that to see if you can open up that doorway. The
Rolling
controls are
controls.
rather
What-
foreign to you.
You know what?
What's all these
I'm gonna burn a buff.
Burn the buff and full
I
pilot.
beat mine by 7.
All right,
Okay.
one mimic has been used. Beat it by 7. All right, you are able to get the door open with that score. You are on the ground floor of the tower. There are 2 soldiers immediately inside of the door that we're going to roll initiative for.
Alright.
Hey!
You better roll
That's
high.
a good one.
These 2 soldiers are a little bit larger in armor composition than the other ones and have large lance-like weapons in their hands as opposed to these guns.
Okay, this is making me nervous.
I'm not going to hit you. Probably.
Probably.
All right, what can I
It's
get for
okay.
initiatives?
I am also prepared.
25.
25 for Jenika. Okay.
22.
22 for Bruno. Andy James?
16.
16. All right, Jenika, you're going to go first.
It just disappears.
You did seem to catch them off guard. They were not expecting a trio of medieval-clad warriors to suddenly appear inside the tower, in the middle of their compound.
So because Jenika has shooting, and I'm
Yes.
Jenika right now, but I also have fighting as Jenika, can I still use the sword with all the sword stuff that...
Oh yeah, you don't
Shandroth
lose
has?
any of Shandroth's abilities other than you don't use her special abilities.
Okay, so I can still use two attacks, just not the third attack that I
Yes.
use. Okay,
You don't get that bonus ability attack from Shandroth being
Great.
quite possibly the greatest swordswoman in the world.
right.
Taught
So
by me.
Yes, you
Taught by
taught her
me.
to be that.
you did. Thank you.
That was
That's very good.
more than a decade of one-on-one instruction.
The student has surpassed the master. There's nothing to be more proud of in the world.
I'm proud of my sneaking abilities.
As you should be, my lady.
That was it.
That was it. All right, I'm going to use then this sword
Who
of
is this, Andi,
justice
of whom you
and
Oh no.
do 2 attacks. Like on the first one, I would like to stab one in like the gut area because that's often where there's a gap in an armor situation because they have to like bend and move. So I'm going to stab one there and then just go over and slice the other one there too.
Oh,
Just
and
kind of
little.
If you
colon
choose to take
transplant?
a multi-action penalty, you can attempt a notice check to find a weak point in their armor if you wish,
all right.
as opposed to
How
just
much is-
guessing.
My multi-action.
The penalty would be 2.
Oh, let's do that. Okay. I will do. Okay. I beat that by 4, so with the penalty, I beat it by 2.
Beat it by 2. You believe the joints of the elbows, the knees, and up in the collar section
That's what I want.
are the
That one.
most vulnerable areas of this
So
armor.
then I'm. What I'd like to do. Watch out, people.
Yikes.
Is I want to just kind of and like shear them like grass.
Like little sheeps.
Okay.
No, like grass. I'm like a lawnmower. That's my plan. Yes. Oh yeah, I beat that one by 10.
That is a critical success for the first one, and the second.
In many years hence, there
Good.
shall be the queen. Sorry, what's the queen's last name? Your queen's name?
Shandroth is it Valleithio?
No, there's no Spanish
Okay,
double L.
Valethio,
So Queen Shandroth Valithio, the lawnmower.
the lawnmower.
and
And I
second?
beat that one by
The
5.
clipper of hedges.
By 5? All right. So the first one is a critical success, so you'll deal double the normal amount of damage. In addition,
40
because you have
sheer
targeted a
rough
weak
shots.
point, you will deal double the amount of armor piercing you normally
So
do.
regular armor piercing is 10, regular damage is 40.
Okay, so the first one is barely able to get through the armor and wound, and the second one doubles the armor piercing and doubles the damage. So what would that be?
So that'd be 80 damage and armor piercing 20.
All right, that is more than enough to completely go through the armor and then through the neck and out the other side.
Hey! We got a hit.
The second one was just kind of a glancing blow, but you were able
Still
to
hurts.
get through the armor. They're definitely bleeding.
Hey, carotid artery?
Mm. And Bruno, you're going to have a 22, so you're next.
So
One of them is dead.
Brother
Decapitated.
Tiber plans to do a little bit of a parkour style attack. run up on the wall, leap off of the wall, and do a flip so that the remaining soldier is looking up as he goes over him to spike him in the throat, bypassing the armor, hopefully.
All right.
Because what I noticed,
I
I
love
didn't
these
know.
guys.
Shit right over here.
So acrobatics check I get to do twice
Yes.
because he's a master acrobat.
This is true.
And I rolled really badly both times and met my acrobatics score. both
That's still enough to
times.
succeed.
It's 2 7s and then a 6 and an 8 on a pair of 8 7 dice. And then
That's
the
incredible.
attack
Cool,
beat that by 8.
You're going to get to do double your normal armor piercing for avoiding the hardest area. So give me double armor piercing and normal damage.
So double armor piercing is 20
Okay.
and then 40 damage.
Combined, that is enough that you are able to silence this guard before he has a chance to raise the alarm. There are now 2 dead guards at your feet. Well done.
I mean, Bruno isn't in play right now. It's Brother Tiber who's a monk. So
Hey,
that's how he works.
you're on the ground floor of some
baby,
kind of a
oh,
Wait,
building.
baby,
Did she
yeah.
go?
There's no one else to
'cause
fight.
Oh, I thought
They're
we
dead.
Okay, good.
There were only 2 on the inside. They weren't expecting, a large amount of enemies to suddenly be inside of a building that's already at the center of their perimeter. And
I'm sorry that I did not leave you one.
It is all right. I am sure my bloodlust will be slated later. Nope, that's Andy. No, that's cool. That's cool.
She can have. Oh,
this ground floor is of several rooms where machines obviously were until very recently, but they've been like ripped out or physically removed or cut away all very recently. So they can still like hanging cords and wires and stuff from the walls. And someone's like stripping out the equipment from in here.
Oh, great.
And on the center of this ground floor is, looks like an elevator system. And again, kind of like the exterior door, the controls have been altered. Another box has been plugged into the outside. Though they've tried to find a way to bypass whatever measures were keeping this place locked
Computers?
down.
shall we try?
I mean,
I beat that by 4. Nope.
That's
Yep.
more than enough.
I beat that by 7.
Oh yeah, you are able to get the elevator working. Also, having used the previous box, it doesn't seem like a whole lot different. Some kind of a box that these 742 individuals use to bypass other people's technology.
And look at us bypassing theirs.
And the elevator rises quite a bit as you ride in. It bypasses many floors along the way and then stops. I'll take notice checks to guess how far up you went.
I beat that by 4.
By 4.
I beat that by 9.
You happen to know that you traveled exactly 1,000 meters vertically in that elevator.
So 10 floors? No, less, more.
Like 30.
I don't do meters. It's very stressful.
What would a math teacher want to
I
do?
know meters. They make sense mathematically. I just don't.
The elevator stops and the doors slide open, and there are 4 more of these guards just beyond the doors. I'm going to need initiatives from everyone again.
Yeah.
Come on, big money.
Oh, can I use my my buff, please? Because
Absolutely.
it gives them -5 to all of them, or penalty
Oh,
of 5
snap.
to all of them.
You can. All right, using your buff and using
Thank
your
you.
buff tactically.
That was crap.
Oof. That is also going to apply to their initiative score, and because I just rolled really poorly, they got a 3.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
-5 from 8 leaves me with a 3.
I also got an 8, but I actually got the 8.
All right,
It was that bad. It's a 6 and then 2.
16.
16.
I'm assuming I
What
can't
is that?
use Chandroth's initiative because I'm nowhere near her, right?
You're full pilots. You
So no.
cannot.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
22.
You will go first, which makes sense, being as you didn't get to go at all.
I know.
There are
Pent up
4
now.
of them outside of the door here. Above the door on the outside, there's all kinds of strange symbols and even stranger alien writing. And there's a lot of machines. They're all still hooked up here. Some of them they're in the process of removing. There's more strange symbols on them. They're all powered and flicker with an alien glow. And you can hear voices from beyond. They sound really similar in like the timbre and pitch to Zenda.
Can't imagine why. Okay,
Start us off.
great. Excellent. There are two of them?
There are four. here.
Four. How close together are they?
Two to the left of the door and two to the right, very close.
Two to the left of me, two to the right, here I am.
Yes.
Well, I haven't gotten a chance. Had. Both are correct.
Received.
Earned, received. I haven't been able to use Casa, First Sword of the Queen, yet, and since we know that we can... Thank you. Since we know that we can... Your pommel is loose. Alright. I did... No! I did not this time do that!
It's okay, Helen. You can tighten up my pommel anytime.
Nice.
Yep, I know.
Children,
Yes?
can we
Oh,
continue?
Can I add rage? Is there like a rage bonus? Is there? Did I get? Okay. So with Casa, First Sword of the Queen, not killing him.
I know.
We're going to go across, right?
Mhm.
I am absolutely going to split my attacks though, and as we come across, I'm going to grab my axe with the other hand, and as I circle back around, we're going to aim again for the throat.
So how many attacks are we making in
Two.
total? Two? All
Two,
right.
but I mean, it's a long sword. It could go through several necks. That's all I'm saying.
So I will take
And I
fighting
am
rolls
very
for both
strong.
of those. And do you only have those two attacks you want to make? Because if you're splitting attacks, each one can be two. How
Oh,
many attacks do you
well,
have?
in that case.
How many attacks do you normally have?
Freaking berserker rage.
That's listed towards the top on the avatar.
Attacks. Two.
Two.
So if you split, you will make 4 total
Oh,
attacks.
yeah, okay. Well, 4 total attacks. Let's do it.
All of them will be penalized by a whole whopping 2 points.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. Let's see. And I'm rolling on...
Against fighting.
Fighting. Gotcha. Oh, yeah. I do have that. Cool. Which weirdly is higher than empathy. That's fine. That's done.
Well, you know, things change over the course of the events
I
happening.
know.
I could hypnotize you again.
You could hypnotize me again. Alright. Yeah, okay, cool. So that is going to succeed by 3.
Okay, by 3.
And that's with the 2 points. 2 points?
2-point penalty applied.
That is not going to succeed. That is
Okay.
going to... Oh, no, that's going to meet it.
Meet it, okay.
That is going to succeed by 9, 11, 5.
5.
And that... okay. That's going to succeed by 8.
By 8, okay. Now, you can have these attacks all be with the sword, or you could have 2 of them be at the sword and 2 at the axe. I just want to know how they
I feel
work.
like for style, except the sword has armor piercing and the axe doesn't. I guess it's all with the sword then.
All right. Well, what is the armor piercing and damage normally done by those?
Armor piercing 20, 50 damage.
It's a 2-handed sword. It is quite substantial. And you managed to kill 2 of these guards outright before they have the chance to act.
Yes, like that.
I love those sound effects. Thank you so much, Leon. And we'll have Bruno going next. There are still 2 of them remaining.
I think Brother Tiber is going to channel Legolas and go with the knee slide entry into the room, spinning around and firing 2 shots off, 1 at each of the 2 targets.
All right.
Okay.
I'm glad you think so.
Do you need an acrobatics check first?
Mm-hmm.
So beat that by 7. Shooting beat by 5, and the second one beat by 8.
All right. You get both of those arrows to hit. Are separate targets or same target?
Separate targets.
Okay. What is the armor piercing and damage on this?
10 and 40.
All right. You wound both, but both are still standing as we go to.
Can you describe those wounds for me just for quick?
They have arrows sticking in their body through the armor and in their back.
If the arrows got pushed through farther, would it do more damage?
More than likely.
Excellent. I'm going to shield bash them together so that they, with
Okay.
their already inflicted wounds.
All right, I will take a fighting roll
All right,
for the
thank
shield bash, and you.
And I have another attack
I was
after
gonna
that, so
say-
if it doesn't go well, then I will shear more grass, as in take off more heads.
The shield bash.
Oh,
I beat that by 4.
Beat that by 4. That is
Wait.
going to hit
Yes,
them.
4. Beat that by 4.
You further their injuries, but both still are standing.
All right, time to shear some grass. Oh, bananas! I beat that by 8.
And then finish them off with your sword.
finisheth him.
Mhm. So those 4 are dead by the time we get to the GM initiative. So the people in the room beyond, which now, Bruno, you have a better view because you've slid past them and can see into this room. There's 2 more of those armored guards along with 7 individuals with lab coats. One of the
Who's he
armored
to
guards
Pierce?
immediately advances towards you with his shock lance, while the second one drops a grenade among the scientists.
Among the scientists, rude.
And I have a success by 8 on my shock lance attack against you.
That would be a hit.
That's going to do 50 damage.
Oh, snap. That's more damage than I received for freewheeling out of the sky.
Out of the skin dragon.
Out of the skill.
And the plasma
Never
grenade
again.
detonates and annihilates all 7 of those
No.
scientists,
No!
Wow,
I didn't even get a
throwing
chance
that.
to save them.
turning them into paste.
Gross. Is that what we've been eating in Meta End?
That's
No.
where canned bread comes
Melted
from?
plasma-based paste. But you did get a decent look at them, and while it didn't much matter to the avatar you're into, Bruno, they all looked like they could have been relatives of Zenda, but just different ages. Like one of them could have been
All
like
the
maybe
scientists?
maybe his grandpa, and the other one like maybe a brother or a cousin. Who's
I'll be using my Bruno buff to
Thank you,
shift
chat.
to
all right.
pilot.
And then that brings us back to the top with Andi James.
Okay, sorry. How many people are left?
There's only 2 of those armored guards left, but they're in the room beyond where you are, past where your grandfather is fighting.
All right, I would like to once again split attacks
Okay.
and do some. Oh no.
Keep going.
Okay, I would like to. Oh god. Okay, I just Okay, you don't see what I see. You don't see what I see.
No, and they won't.
I know. I would like to throw my sinister blade, since it returns to my hand as if by magic. I would like to throw and throw and throw and throw
4 times.
4 times.
So
as
2
much
at each
damage
of
as-
them?
Yes, please.
Okay.
As much damage as I possibly can, and that's on shooting.
That will be athletics because you're throwing it off.
Athletics. Great. Oh yeah.
You could also
so,
use fighting if you choose, but I know your athletic score is better.
It sure is. But actually not by that much. All right, so I'm gonna beat that by 7.
Okay.
I'm going to beat that by every point in the world. Sorry, no, by 12.
By 12. Critical success.
Critical success. That one I am going to beat by 6. That one I can math. No, 11, 2. Yep, I'm gonna beat that by, by 5.
All 4 throws are successful, and before they can move more than another step, both of those guards, leaving just yourselves in this room.
Is there technology in the room?
Oh, all kinds of it. At this point, a voice comes on. It sounds very familiar to all of you. Now this is a surprise. It's good to see you, Miss James. Mr. Hamilton, Dr. Clarkson. Your timing is both unexpected and highly fortuitous. The 742 scientists have already taken control of the OGRI systems here, and we're nearly through to the upper control access. Your intervention will likely save many lives of the denizens of this metaverse.
Don't we not like this guy?
That's what I thought.
I spent a lot of time hunting him, I'll tell you that.
We all spent a lot of time hunting him. We also spent a lot of time being manipulated by him.
Well, he just said we did good. So does
Yeah,
that mean we did bad?
Well, and Merc, it's a holy fucking shirt.
Forking.
Forking shirt. Or
Oh, I just
holy
meant
forking
the-
shirt balls.
Oh, but you were talking about
Perhaps
the
you
shirt.
now understand that this invasion was what I was striving to prevent.
What?
If I had occupied all of the avatars of the metaverse successfully, they could not have successfully invaded any metaverses.
Right, but
where is the voice coming from?
Oh, the walls all around you.
I mean,
Oh, you're looking for me. I am above you. There are things you must do first.
But you understand why your methods were insane.
I really don't think he does.
Are you inviting conversation, or are you just trying to tell us
The
something?
plan was sound.
Okay, but insane, right?
Sanity is debatable, Dr. Clarkson.
Oh, it's very true. But how can we possibly trust you?
Can't.
You bribed the Project Metaverse people with goodie boxes and pretended to be something you weren't the entire time we've known you. There is no basis of trust. There is no
Trusting
reason.
me is not necessary. You
just
job
said
to
we
do.
had other stuff to do, and it sounds
You
like you're
do
the one
wish
who's going to
to-
tell us to do it.
You do wish to stop this invasion and save the people of this metaverse. Am I
Why
mistaken?
would you? Again, we have no basis of trust for you. No reason to listen to what you say. We have no way to say that your way to save these people is actually the way to save these people. We've been doing all right by ourselves, thanks.
I understand. Well, when you analyze these systems here and confirm that what I am telling you is correct, you can make whatever decision you make for yourself.
Unless you made the systems.
These systems predate any of us by quite some time.
So you say.
You are on the OGRI control system floor. You will want to disable these control systems at your earliest possible convenience. It will disrupt the control that 742 has exerted over the creatures called the Augury.
Sorry, will you say that one more time?
This is the room that 742 has used to control, access, and manipulate the creatures you know as Augury.
How?
They are an artificial race. They were once the servitors of another race. They enslaved humanity and worked for their masters.
I see. Are they much dissimilar to the Z series?
I believe
They
you are mistaken.
created.
I am not certain, Miss James. The creatures here and these machines and structures are quite ancient. Whoever built them has not been present for some time.
Great.
However, 742 has been able to access and override the control systems on these OGRI and are using them for their own ends.
So we can free the Augury.
Yes, Miss James.
And that's what you want us to do.
It would be best for the residents of this metaverse if there were not an organized group of hunters obeying 742 patrolling the lands.
As little as I trust him.
I know
I'm gonna
it's the
verify
thing to
like
do, but
I just want to just computer. I want to verify because I
Absolutely.
trust this guy about as far as I can throw him, and since I can't touch him right now, can't throw him at all.
With some computer
You
roles,
can
you
throw
can
shade,
analyze
but-
this
I
system.
beat that by 8.
What he's telling you seems to be correct. This seems to be a control room for the creatures, which said OGRI seems to be the acronym used for them.
I hate him. It looks like he's right, unless he's planted all this stuff, which is entirely possible.
Remember too, Tom was splintered, so this fragment may be more benevolent, like the first one we encountered in the priest.
I have numerous fragments currently, Mr. Hamilton.
Oh, you're building yourself back up again. That's
terrifying.
reassuring. I feel like we said the same thing just now using completely opposite words.
Think so? Yeah.
All right, well, let's
Do the thing with the computers and
doing the thing.
There are a variety of courses of action you may take with them. I leave that at your discretion.
I beat my roll to mess up the computers by 6.
Beat it by 1.
What kind of a command would you like to give the augury?
Override.
So
Shut
just
down.
set them totally free? Not going to
Yes.
give them a different set of orders or instructions?
No.
Just making
Yes, wait.
What? What do you want to give them? I don't
We
want to
can
control
turn
them.
the augury on the 742.
But they're just going to blow themselves up and go away,
They'll be
aren't they?
slaughtered, right? I mean, I don't know what the actual intellectual capacity of the augury
They're
is.
just big. They're
But
not equipped.
if
They
they're-
can't stab. They can't pierce.
If they're as animalistic as they appear, it'd be. I'm sure they could succeed and do a lot of damage, but we'd be sending them to the slaughter.
And that too would be wrong. They might just hate the 742 because.
They very well might, but then it's their choice.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, perhaps if we give them complete freedom, they might fight the battle we want them to anyway.
I would like to give them freedom and then also give them the command that they cannot be commanded again.
You can override the systems here, yes.
We should also recall them to the north.
Go back. Yeah, go back home.
Yeah, go home.
Once you've finished, please join me in the control room at the top of the tower. A doorway opens at the far side of the room.
Is there stairs or an elevator?
Elevator.
I do not want to get in that elevator.
Neither do I.
Do you see a choice?
Go back down.
Parkour. I just worry about descending rapidly.
Right. I don't want to get in that elevator. He has given me no reason to get in that elevator other than it's
I
the
can go
only
up alone.
option. Oh, you can't go
No.
alone.
That elevator drops,
The
I'll
things
survive it.
we do as a family. You
Might
said
take
that.
in.
Give me a notice check on the elevator.
Beat it by 2.
This is the bottom floor for this elevator that you're looking at. Like you can only access it from here and it goes up.
Oh,
If
that
we
makes sense.
beat it by 10, is there more information coming?
It doesn't have one of those control boxes. It looks like they were trying to hack one in, but whoever was here for 742 of those science teams had not been able to override this elevator.
Oh, so only Tom knows how to get this to work.
Isn't that
Great.
pleasant?
Isn't it just?
I hate him.
Okay.
Right? I hate him. This is a very real feeling that I'm feeling.
Yeah, that's how you know you're full pilot control. How strong the hate for Tom is. Here we go.
Find myself conflicted.
I'm going to hold my sword very tightly. Not that it will
Swords
do
will
anything.
help, yeah.
Taking the elevator?
Yep.
All right, you climb aboard the elevator. Again, give me notice checks to see if you can figure out how far up you travel. On the
Might have a shot this time.
Beat it by 6.
Beat it by 7.
Goes very good.
I am not familiar with any of this, but this entity you all seem so terrified of seems to have a hashtag meta point.
Ooh,
Trust
thank you.
isn't necessary, but action is. You can still save this world even if you must listen to your enemy to do so.
You can't give Tom a meta point!
Thank you.
Wait, what?
You travel exactly 3,000 meters vertically.
Exactly.
The fuck?
Mm-hmm.
We're in heaven.
The whole floor is a
And-
single room here.
Is it white?
No.
Oh.
And there is a projected hologram awaiting you of Tom. Welcome to the Orbital Weapons Satellite Platform. With the OGRI back to a feral state and scattered back, humanity on this metaverse will recover. The organic guardian race infantry were the servitors of a now forgotten race of creatures that once ruled this metaverse some time ago. These beings, whoever they were also capable of metaversal travel, it would seem.
And
I used some of those means to find myself, I believe would be the proper term.
Uh-huh. So you've been scouring metaverses for pieces of yourself? to
That's
build
correct, Ms.
yourself
James.
again?
And you are now inside the computer systems of this tower?
Some of them. Some of them I
Which-
cannot access.
Are linked to many metaverses.
This is correct, Miss James. At some point in the previous history, the occupants were able to use this tower to travel through the metaverse.
And also
I haven't quite
some-
solved how they did so, but I will soon.
And I'm sorry, this is called the orbital.
This is the control for the orbital satellite weaponry. There are numerous satellites in orbit with advanced weaponry.
Right. So you have yourself a little tower that connects to just a couple of metaverses, and you also have yourself some really, really
Big guns.
big guns.
Mhm.
I cannot use the orbital weapons satellites
Why did you try?
to destroy the 742 invaders.
You would have destroyed everything else on this planet too.
These weapons are highly precise. If
Small
one knows how to
verses, I
use them.
suppose.
It seems the last time they were used, they were done so by an individual who lacked the necessary skill and had an incident with them.
Yes, and
And
blew
set
up most
back
of the Earth.
entire planet.
Yeah. Big old radiation bomb.
Yes, a human.
A man, probably.
If the records are accurate, it would have been a woman by the name of the Azure Phoenix.
How did they take a woman killing the Earth to then rule it with women? Wouldn't it make more sense if a man did it than the women would take over because they're like tired of it?
Well, if the woman destroys half of the earth, sure shit gonna listen to her after that.
But she's not dead.
She destroyed this section of this continent and put the OGRI into a feral state, which they remained until 742 arrived, and repelled the beings that held humanity in servitude. She liberated her people.
Because the OGRI were the things that were subjecting her people.
Correct.
I see.
Ah,
So she was
okay.
a leader of a rebellion.
She's the leader of a rebellion.
This is correct.
she still used nukes to do it.
I see. Well,
I mean, this is all ancient history. What
ancient
matters,
history that affects us now
well,
and
but
has given Tom a literal platform to do his work from.
My goal is to destroy the invaders
Aye.
in this metaverse and any other metaverse which they invade from.
Yes.
How are you better than them?
Better is subjective, Dr. Clarkson.
Right. So what subject do you think makes you better than them?
I have no desire to invade or subjugate metaverses.
Except you have.
I was merely aiming to possess avatars so they could not be used as a means of invasion.
Yeah, it's a little similar.
Gray area there.
Little gray.
A little,
I feel like you're.
little like you were invading avatars.
But unlike yourselves, I would not control these avatars. They would remain independent, free thought, and free acting. They would simply be incapable of being possessed by metapilots.
So now you're saying
And
that you're
wearing
not only
white
better than the
shirts.
invaders, you're better than us? Bite me.
Better is subjective, Dr. Clarkson.
Bite me.
He might.
Doc, what's the who was it that said something about power corrupts absolute power corrupts absolutely?
Yes, that happened. I don't know who said it. I'm not great with quotes. But yes,
Familiar with that one, Tom?
I am, Mr. Hamilton.
How do you feel about that?
he doesn't feel about anything.
The doctor is correct.
You ever consider applying it to yourself?
If the invasion is not happening, I will no longer be necessary.
So if we stop the invasion, you go away. Poof.
That would be correct, Dr. Clarkson.
You just. Poof.
I would no longer have a purpose.
Would you be willing to assist us in ending the invasion on our terms?
However, I may do so, Miss James. Any plan that will not further the invasion is conducive to my goals.
Did we just get a Tom in the box?
Do you want one?
I am afraid I will not be able to relocate, Miss James. I am rather confined to this location.
But you.
So what is conducive to the invasion so that we don't accidentally do it?
At the current moment, using these orbital weapons to destroy the invaders with precise strikes would be of the most benefit. They have been unable to launch their orbital platform as of yet, and if their main structures and gate are destroyed here, their invasion will come to a halt.
But how can we? Nobody knows how to.
To stop the invasion would require Arena.
How does Arena have anything to do with this orbital
Sorry.
shooting machine?
Unfortunately, Arena is in the hands of another entity as far as my last knowledge was, and we cannot do anything with that.
Arena's in Crash Jackson's hands at this point.
This is new information. Well then, that makes this invasion far less troublesome.
What?
Oh, wait.
Let's maybe not give him any information.
Okay, but like Crash could maybe.
In what way less troublesome?
Well, it would seem Mr. Jackson would have a plan on hand. If Mr. Jackson uses Arena to bring a dispute over the possession of Prime with 742, along with numerous pilot members, he will be able to initiate a challenge for control of Metaverse Prime.
Now, if Crash could hypothetically use these precision strike nukes and using his ability of Haxor, would it be possible for him to use them to wipe out the entire invasion in one fell swoop?
I am afraid these orbital weapons are confined to this Metaverse, Ms. James. They could only be used on this planet.
But you have a portal and just.
It's a really big portal. Okay, so you have all this information. You, who we don't trust, and you, who could possibly be evil. And you have all this information about...
If you are here, I would hypothesize that you have also entered numerous other metaverses that 742 has invaded, and Mr. Jackson is already proceeding with this plan and has simply not informed you of it.
I wasn't disputing what he was doing. I trust him implicitly. I do not trust you.
Trusting me is not required.
Yeah,
Well, but it is. I'm almost more willing to like the 742 people right now. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Wow, Nazis over Tom.
That's where I'm at over this guy right now. No, how is he different? Hitler over Nazis, same.
Well, Doc, the difference might be... How do I put this?
I mean, I get they're both bad. I was trying to express.
This Tom.
Andy, you'd know better than any of us. This Tom is not the same as the one... This is a portion of Tom. We've already locked up and eliminated various fragments of Tom.
Some of those fragments were good Toms. Most of those fragments were bad Toms.
As Tom says, good and bad is subjective.
But to him, okay, so good and bad is subjective. Let's do the philosophical conversation. If good and bad is subjective, we feel the good and the bad, right? That's how we can tell if something is good, if something is bad. We feel it. He's bad.
I'm not suggesting he's good.
I don't trust him. I don't like the idea of this person who we don't like, don't trust, hate, whatever, telling us, hey, yeah, it's totally okay if you fire those weapons. Those weapons are great to fire. Let's do that right now.
The protector.
I made no claims at protection, Ms. James.
You are
I intended to
attempting-
stop an invasion.
To stop an invasion. I assumed then to protect the denizens.
Hashtag clarity. If you take out the 742 invaders with the satellites, you can then turn them on this platform and levitate the place and reduce Tom down to space dust. Timers are your friend in this instance.
Yeah, Bruno's been thinking about that concept.
Thank you.
The concern that he has is whether he's willing to sacrifice Brother Tiber and the Queen and her aunts in the process.
Yeah, they were suggesting timers like we said it and then go away.
I don't know, maybe.
I just...
The trust of me is not required, Ms. James. I simply
Well,
suggest
there
you
certainly
use
isn't
control
ours.
of these orbital weapons to destroy the invaders, and if
But
you so
how do you
choose,
use them? We don't know how to use them.
These computer banks will allow you to use them. I cannot use them as I am not a metapilot.
Andy, Doc, you guys know computers. Can you tell if these computers have a firewall? Are they like isolated?
I beat mine by 4.
I did not.
You pretty sure that it's set up in such a fashion that it works with a metapilot, similar to a metapod, but almost
So we have to get.
energy-wise.
So we have
You
to
don't
get
have to
in.
physically get into them. It can actually mentally connect with them. But
That sounds safe.
it doesn't seem like something you can do. Somebody needs a much stronger connection to the metaverse to be able to do it.
When you
'Cause
need
I'm
a
all the way
stronger
pilot?
connection, you need a class 5.
That is correct, Ms. James.
You need a class.
You can interface with the computers here and control them.
And if I fail, I destroy this whole world.
I believe you can precision aim them if the instructions here are to be believed, but without controlling them myself, I cannot confirm this. You,
Okay.
however, will be able to do so.
Azure Phoenix.
Azure Phoenix did not know what she was doing. She had no experience with computers whatsoever, nor experience with orbital weapons.
So I have to trust you that
No,
I
Ms.
can
James,
do this.
You have to trust yourself.
That's called gaslighting. We don't like it when he tries to rewrite what actually got said. Don't fall for it. You'll be putting your whole existence, not to mention the whole planet, your existence at risk to connect yourself to the computer. He says it's totally safe to bomb people. I know that they're bad people, but so is he.
You could also use this computer system to destroy this tower and me with it if you feel compelled to do so. I would hold no grudge if you made that decision, Ms. James.
¿Por qué no los dos?
See,
Correct.
What do you think?
I think that you know what to do.
I think I need to try.
it's not something you have to ride.
I would like to point out this is the first time I haven't just jumped in to do something. I actually thought about it.
Well, growth is commendable.
But with the technology that we have, that is not this weapon, there's no way that we can stop the invasion.
No.
This is correct.
This
Ignore
is the
him.
only way that these avatars can overcome this entire force.
True. If, it's true. True if it's true.
Think about it rationally. How is Tom coming into this place? How would this tower have been built? How would it have been structured in a way that he could use it as a trap like this?
It was
I mean, I get what you're saying. If it's like, if you can access the DNA code from you to be able to control stuff, then it becomes a problem, and he's got control of it. That said, what other choice do we have?
I know. I don't like it. I don't have to like it.
How do I do this?
I believe if you concentrate, you can interface with the machine, Ms. James.
Without-
The thing is, I am not a metapilot. I do not know.
Can I see if there's like a doodad she has to put on her head, or
You can look around.
I beat a notice by 5.
There seems to be a place where one would physically stand. That seems to be indicated.
I will go and stand in that space.
All right. Go ahead and roll 2 8s and roll it against both your mind and your soul scores.
Can I roll
Separately.
on focus?
Actually, focus is even better for you.
It sure is.
You happen to have that skill.
I
Imagine
do
that.
happen to have that skill.
So give me 2 focus rolls.
Okay, I'm gonna beat that. And I'm going to beat it by 6.
By 6. All right. You beat the one to understand the systems by 6. So I will explain that in a brief moment.
Oh. And I'm going to beat that by 10.
And a critical success on the control of systems. For your understanding, you believe that there are 3 different systems you can control here.
Hashtag hackattack Andi, you can do this. Chat's got your back. We believe in you.
Thank you, chat.
There are 3 systems you can control from here. There is a self-destruct system you can control for this overall tower. There are the orbital weapons, which you can precisely aim. It's almost as if you can see anywhere you want and aim them. And then there is a transporter-based technology here where you can physically transport beings from this tower to anywhere else on this planet.
On the planet, not
On this
not
planet.
a Metaverse, okay.
So you get to be God.
You do get to be God.
The people you transport would have to be in this room, though.
I mean, basically, you're piloting into the avatar that is like the Starship Enterprise or some sort of like, you know, Star Destroyer, Death Star.
And with critical success, you have absolute control over those systems right now. You can do anything you want with them.
Well, my motto is for the Queen. She must survive this. I'm going to transport her and Brother Tiber back to her throne room.
Done. They are gone. You are alone in the tower.
I am going to target. I'm going to target the 742, every 742 individual on this planet.
All right.
With
Precision strikes.
exactly enough force to kill them
All right.
and nothing near them.
Excellent. Anything else?
And then I am going to destruct this tower.
And destroy it.
And teleport yourself out.
Can I teleport myself out?
You have control over those systems.
Wonderful. I wasn't sure if I needed the
It's
tower
going
to
to be
still
about
be
timing.
standing.
So that
Okay.
part is questionable whether you'll
Okay.
pull it off.
All right. What would I roll on for that?
I am going to want another focus roll for that one.
Okay.
You have to time it just right.
Okay. I'm gonna beat that by 1.
You still have a Patreon button.
I do. I'm gonna beat that by 6.
All right, you succeed by 6. Good luck, Miss James. Please stop the invasion. Goodbye. And then you are back in the throne room.
Did I stop the invasion?
Is he gone?
In the sky above, you can see out like little tiny red beams from all over in the sky. Just go all over the place.
If we're in the throne room, there's like it was occupied before, right? So.
And several of them come down into this very area in the capital itself, and even where soldiers are standing, they are vaporized by laser blasts from somewhere up in orbit.
I think you stopped
Ships
it.
destroyed.
Well, at least that part he was,
serious industry in roofing.
at least that part he said was true. Hey, good work, by the way.
Swiss cheese roofs.
And that is all the time we have for today's episode of Masters of the Metaverse. Thank you all for joining us here on the Zombie Orpheus Entertainment channel on Twitch. Make sure to check out Zoe Game Nights on Thursdays, and some of our partners, Audio Dungeons on Wednesdays, Table Takes on Fridays. And everyone, check out the Fantasy Network. You can't miss that one.
Yeah.
We love y'all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
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 Masters of the Metaverse, Masters of the Metaverse. They travel through time and space and stuff. Troll them, re-roll them, throw them above. They fly through dimensions, this isn't the bluff. Heroes compelled, they have no choice. Bound by the winds of a secret voice. Masters of the Metaverse, Masters of the Metaverse. Masters of the Metaverse, Masters of the Metaverse.